2 years ago, 2024. We are here this morning. I'm here with Clarence Jackson of OKFM, Kelvin of Prime FM 15.5, Diamond of Spoon TV and Spoon Network. And of course, the four of us will drive the conversation from now up to 10 o'clock this morning. The Vice President is already here. And in a moment, we'll get started. But let me hear from my distinguished, according senior anyway. So Clarence, good morning, and good morning to Diamond and Kelvin. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Except that on these kinds of occasions, all of us are colleagues, regardless of where we are in our different positions at the different institutions we serve. We're privileged to be here to join you. Together, we will have a very good interaction with the Vice President. I speak for Kelvin, I speak for Damo. I don't know what Damo got the hair. I didn't want Damo to temper with her hair. Damo, why you got the hair?
You're making them know that your first time seeing me in years.
Yeah, he looks sharp, man. He was dread. He had dread.
Why, Kelvin, what you say?
He had dread.
Damo sitting by you, you can't ask the man that we ask him.
I don't know how he used to look like.
He used to be superb.
All things are gone.
The boys will be
Emmanuel,
superb.
thanks so very much for the kind of work that you're doing. And it's great to be here on your turf for the first time, having a team up with you.
Yeah, sure.
And on a historic interview with His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. It's my pleasure being here.
Kevin, you saw the ball post?
Who?
You saw Emmanuel's post?
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
man.
didn't. I think I would not.
You gotta read it after the show. You gotta read it. But it's good. The Vice President is here, Emmanuel, and so yeah, we can keep it going. We can keep the Vice President sitting. We gotta get this thing started. The Liberian people are waiting. So you can tune to Prime FM. You can listen to Spoon. Diamond is here. Emmanuel is here, and of course, OKFM. And I know several other community radio stations and stations in Monrovia. I'm told we'll be relaying this edition of the show.
Cool FM as well.
Yeah.
So of course, so let's get started. Let me officially welcome the Vice President. The Vice President, welcome to the state's broadcaster, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, and let me say good morning to all of you. It's good to be here. I've been here before, but it's been years now. I want to say good morning to our people in Radio Land and all those who know the sound of my voice this morning. Good morning, Liberia, and good morning to the President that is in the States on some assignments. Good morning to you, Mr. President, and good morning to my beloved wife and kids. And I'm happy to be here.
Great.
How does the President call you beyond my Vice President or Mr. Vice President? Is there any particular name he call you?
He just says VP.
Oh, yes, how is it like being the Vice President, prior to your roles as representative rather in senator respectively, now you are the Vice President. What do you do when you wake up in the morning preparing for work? How do you work your ways between the people who visit your home, your offices? I mean, what do you do as the Vice President?
I say to you, it's a tough job. What blessed me is I'm not this guy who normally used to who normally play like that. Maybe want to walk to an entertainment place, sit there alone or so. Unless I see friends or so and bump into you. All my life since I was 12 years old, I've been a struggling guy and no play. But this job is tough. I mean, your house, your office, it's difficult to visit your friends, people you grew up with. Most times I go to Ganta. I want to walk on the road to visit my friends. One time I tried, they will block the whole road and other people can't find ways to move and things. So you just forget it. So from your office to your house, I mean, that's all. And sometimes you don't know those people behind the wall unless somebody come and say to you, look, there's 1, 2 person outside the fence there. It is a tough space, but we thank God that we were prepared for it.
What do you like to do, during your leisure? I mean, you're human. Sometimes you be like, today I don't want no friends. It can be whosoever, maybe aside from my boss, the president. I just want to be alone today. What do you like doing? Movies, exercise? What is it?
So my thing is cooking.
Really? You cook?
Sure.
Do you cook well?
Wow.
Very well. Look, the way young people go to watch football game, I don't even know the teams. I get here, then I hear my children say, "Bagay."
Because I wanted to ask you, your boss is an Arsenal fan. Don't you support any team?
No, my childhood, there wasn't play, so I didn't pay attention to these things. Imagine starting to live when you're not by yourself from 12 years old to today. Every day was while we eat and how we survive.
Now,
And so there was no time to play football. So my thing is cooking. I can cook from morning to night, and I'm happy with it.
Mr. Vice
Really?
President, you said cooking is your favorite thing to do. What's the best soup you can prepare? Let Liberian
I mean, after the show, let me cook for you.
Which soup?
You cook good dry rice?
Anything.
These guys
And
don't
then
cook,
Liberian food I can cook.
These guys don't cook, so don't.
Food don't cook. Okay, Kelvin, wait. We'll have to move on because time is fast. Mr. Vice President, your boss, His Excellency the President, has given you a lot of assignments in recent time. You know, whether it was doing the State of the Nation, he will mention the Vice President. Whether it was by an executive order, he will, get you to manage something. But firstly, I want to give all of us an overview of the business climate in the country before we can begin to ask specific questions. You've been holding a lot of meetings with business people, foreign and Liberian businesses. How, have you been managing these meetings? How they've been going? And what's the generality of the business climate?
Thank you again, Clarence. On July 26, I think of 2025, during the president's statement, he appointed a committee and asked me to chair that committee to look at pricings and look at the business climate and see how Liberians can fit in the market. Since then, we've been having different discussions. The Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Finance, and the different agencies of government. Our market is complex. It's unfriendly to Liberians. Too many things we discover. We concluded our first report on December 19, 2025, and submitted to the President. In that report, there were other recommendations to follow up on other issues. And so that's the work we continue to do. But later, we'll be looking at businesses that are set aside for Liberians. And so this one time, I thought that, look, if you go to Ghana and other places, there are businesses set aside for citizens of that country. And so whether we could do a law to look at some of the businesses we could set aside. And so we asked the Ministry of Commerce and other people to look around. And then what we discovered was there's no need for a new law. There's already a law on the board. The investment code of 2010, this law was passed in 2010. It's called the Investment Act of 2010. In this law, there are, I think, 16 or 20 some more businesses set aside for Liberians, exclusively Liberian. But these businesses are dominated by our foreign friends, most of our foreign friends, and non-citizens from across our. When I say foreign friends, I'm talking about people from different continents. And when I talk about non-citizens, I'm talking about somebody from Ghana, from Nigeria, Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Cote d'Ivoire. Among them are the supply of sand mining should be exclusive to Liberian business. It should be for Liberian people. Block making, so the concrete blocks making, peddling, travel agency, and lots of them. But major among them is the distribution of all locally produced items in the country. That's a major one. And so we try to look at them to see all the factories in this country. What happened to them? Who are the distributors? Unfortunately, Clarence, you will realize maybe 1, 2, 3 Liberians are part of the distribution chain. All the distributors are most of our foreign friends. And most of them are my friends. You know, I've been in the private sector, and so I know most of them. And so when we discover, I started to place a call to some of them. That, look, are you aware that you've been breaking our law? Take for instance, if you look at, if you take some of the big entities, you come to look at G5. G5 is the former Coca-Cola factory. The former Coca-Cola factory is one of the biggest producers of beverages in Liberia. That company, if you find those who are doing the distribution, there's one company called 750 Enterprise. It's owned by our Lebanese friend, one of the major distributors. You got Aaron Brothers, it's an Indian firm, Indian entity, CNC Store.
You say Aaron Brothers?
It's ARUN.
Okay.
Aaron Brothers is owned by an Indian. Okay. You got CNC Store, it's also owned by Indian. You got one Liberian, who is one Bill Delamu. I think Bill is from Bon County. He's the only Liberian distributor. You look at Macon Distillery, it's another big entity that produces most of these Macon products in the market. You got to see CNC, you got Mukesh, you got to see Aaron, you got some Guru. So all Indians in Lebanese, most of the factories, Red Coal. Some of them to the extent that they even open their own day places. I remember in one down the Broad Street, I don't know whether it's still there. There is a Red Coal store there. If you go to downtown and equally have a store there, they should not be open store in Liberia. And that's why most Liberians who want to do business, it's difficult to enter the market. They don't even know how to enter the market. Because the market is so complex and people are protected. It's been long. And that's why we have to break it down. So when we discover all these things, we discussed it with the president. And the president said we should go ahead. And so we had a first meeting. In that meeting, there was a whole presentation as to how we go about it. Some of the things that came out in our meeting was there are a lot of Liberians fronting for these foreign people. Take for instance, used clothes. They won't go to La Fleur. If you go down Waterside, all the stores there are, most of the stores down Waterside are used clothes stores. That business is reserved for Liberians, exclusively. No foreign person should get in that business. If you ask those people to give you their business registry, they will give you, am I good?
Yes.
Thank you.
You are, yeah.
You will notice they are all owned by Liberians. Look, our representative, one time our only community commerce, we invited them to say, look, this business is reserved for Liberians. Why are you doing it? And you will notice everyone coming forward with the article of incorporation are Liberian. But that Liberian man who came to own that business, so now the man come to your office, the first thing you want to get your food to eat first before you even start discussing. So people are fronting. Maybe somebody say, look, clients, I want to do the business, but it's reserved for Liberian. I want to put in your name. Every month I will give you $250. I will pay your 2 children's school fee. And maybe I'll rent one layoff for you for $75. And so there are a lot of people fronting. Some of the discussion we have was, if you take it to court, it's difficult because the document proves that Clarence owned the business. What can we do to stop this? So we intend to go one step. We'll use the Liberian Business Registry, we'll use the Liberian Business Association, we'll work with them, we'll work with LRA, Immigration, and a whole team of people. what we intend to introduce is, if any Liberian claim to own some of these businesses, these particular businesses that aside, you should be the authorizing signature to the account of that business. I know we intend to speak to the Trial Judges Association to see where it looks like on our law. We intend to speak to the Bar Association to see where it looks like. But we have to do these things. We have to find some practical, common sense way.
Does that apply to the examples you were giving about Coca-Cola factory and the Aruna? Does that apply to these people?
Sure.
Are these companies in Liberians' names?
No, so what I'm saying, the Coca-Cola factory is owned by foreign business.
I know.
Perfect. They can do that. But when they produce their Coca-Cola...
I know you're talking about the distributors. I'm saying, does that apply to them? These companies are in Liberians' names?
So these companies that are all...
distributors of Coca-Cola factory.
So we haven't verified
them.
But I know most of the businesses are our Indian friends and brothers who own them.
Go ahead.
So we'll be meeting the factory themselves to say, look, this is our law. If you are supplying a foreign national to do distribution in Nigeria, you are obviously breaking the law. And so the president, we need a political will, which the president has given, and that's why I'm leading the charge to make sure we can get this done. I was telling sure if we can get this done, we can get over 10,000 Liberians involved. Even our friends in the diaspora who always come here, most of them come around. Look, I went to one diaspora forum. It was about what they can do here. And I was telling them about some businesses you can get yourself involved with here. And if this can open, I mean, somebody will say, oh, Liberians don't have money to do this. That's not true. There are Liberians out there that got money. There are Liberians in country that got money. What is happening is the environment is not friendly to them. And because we haven't been enforcing this law, which is a good law on the board, that's why we are facing these problems. If we can enforce the law on these few items and succeed on it, then we can start to add on. Take for instance, Rock Crusher. The Rock Crusher business, you see most of our foreign friends in it. These are businesses that Liberians should be involved with. You know what I mean? If Clarion has a Rock Crusher somewhere, he's going to supply the construction of the road from EW Junction to Ralphie. You know what you're talking about? You know how many trucks load of rock? You'll be supplying, you'll be making $2-3 on a cubic meter of rock. I mean, you're big ball. And so we have to make sure our people are involved with these things to make sure they can be okay.
Mr. Vice President, that's a very great one. The challenges are already visible. And you talk about taking some pragmatic steps. I want to know how soon will Liberians now start to see the enforcement of these existing laws?
The first proposal is within 30 days. I mean, we're calling them to negotiate, but our proposal to them is, look, within 30 days, you are breaking our law. And in 30 days, you should correct them. If you can't correct them, there will be action taken against you. And we're not going to look back on this.
Action like shutting down the different businesses. What would that be?
Oh, there are laws. There are laws on our book. When people violate our laws, there are laws on the book. We're not making new laws. There are penalties. There are ways to deal with it. They are already laid down in our law. And so we'll be following the law.
I know you talk about the issue of article incorporation, how some Liberians are pretending to be owners of the business. That one, you just said it will have to go through a lot of legal processes. Are there others that we can immediately do? For example, breaking the laws to say immediately we put stop to it. You're not going to do retail. You're not going to allow a non-Liberian company to do distribution. We can close this one while we are trying to work with the Law Reform Commission and the other people to put the other things in perspective.
So because of the law, if you were to go to say, look, we don't believe Clarence owns this business. Clarence cannot own this business. And Clarence look like this. Look at where Clarence live. Look at how Clarence children look like. The court will not support you because Clarence can choose to live the way he wants to live. Clarence can choose to have money and don't eat a day and eat one time a day or eat 2 times every week. So what we are doing is to put some common sense. We will be saying to register your business. Clarence, who owns this business, must be the authorizing signatory to the account. And so a client is the authorizing signatory to the account to the extent that this foreign person will ask client to put all his money in his name and he can move money at any time from the account. They both of them are okay, they can continue that. But it will be risky for a lot of people to do, and so they will get out of it.
Dama, you want to come in?
Yes, definitely. Honorable Vice
So I want
President,
us to spend a lot of time on this business issue.
I agree because
Yeah.
it also plays a pivotal role in
Yeah.
why we have massive unemployment in our country. Honorable Vice President, you mentioned 16 to 17 businesses that are reserved for Liberians as one of the problems. But there's also been fair criticism that access to loans, especially for startups and Liberian businesses, whether coming from government programs or from private banks, they're not readily available for Liberians. When your committee carried out its investigation, was that one of the problems as well? Is it a legitimate problem?
Yes, some of the recommendations we made to the president, which the president is seriously looking at and considering, is to put some money in the bank so that Liberians can credit maybe interest-free or a very low interest. Look, as it stands, if you went to credit from the bank as a business person, I know it, I've been in it. The first thing sometimes they tell you 12 to 14%. That is the percentage on the loan. But when the people doing the paperwork, you got to find a small thing. The small thing you find, maybe the thing going up to 16%. Then they will tell you to do insurance. You have to assess your property. The property you're assessing, the person will have to assess it. They got special people who assess these properties. Every bank got these people. They assess them, you have to pay them. So at the end of the day, sometimes to take the loan, you pay about 20%, 22%. And there's no business in this country you're doing to get 22%. Unless you're selling drugs. It's not possible. Most of our percentages are between 5, 6, 8, 10%. So that's why you see a lot of Liberians run into not paying the loan. That's one aspect. Because before you finish taking the money, they give you maybe 1 month, and the next month you got to pay. Sometimes you even send in for your good. That's why one of our recommendations to the president was about APN terminal and the Max line. They are causing serious problems to the business economy. APN terminal and the shipping line, most of the shipping line in the country are the major problem we got here. Look, right now, somebody take our money from the bank. Especially most of our women down water side. They go to China and buy their lay goods to come and sell. Most of them go there and can sell for the 26th or they sell for the Christmas and New Year. So you'll see that around March, February, March, all of them in China. Because they're going to get prepared for July market. Then you see maybe around August, September, all of them going again to prepare for December, January. Because it takes 45 days to 60 days for it to continue to leave China to Liberia. Right now, Max Line, because of the number of containers coming to Liberia, they move all the items coming to Liberia to Abidjan or St. Petro. So when the big ship leave China in 45 days to 60 days, they upload Abidjan, Togo or so. To get it from there here, Max Line should find a small boat that will move those containers in. Sometimes just between here, spend 2-3 months. So sometimes these people, July 26th will buy everything and the goods there. Most of the goods are faction goods. When you buy them, you come to sell, you can't sell them. Before you go buy, there's a new faction. Nobody wants the old one again. And so most of our people are not paying the banks because before they put it aside after July 20th, maybe August, September, they put it out, then they start to auction them below the price because there's a new faction in town. The market is complicated for our people. And our recommendation to the president is, and the president have to take it by the bull, take the bull by the horn. We have to have a serious conversation with APN Terminal. I know they are a big company. When you want to talk about them, they say, oh, representing there, this person there, that person sitting somewhere. This big country, we understand. We are a small country. We have to manage to work with them. But we think they are not fair to our people. And I always say that because APN Terminal and the max line and shipping lines in this country are some of the major problems our people face. We have to face them, not to fight them, but call them to the table. What kind of agreement we say we can look at after 25 years? We have to look at it. I mean, if it costs us to go to arbitration, let's do that. Take some action. The president is looking at it seriously, and I can assure you there are discussions ongoing, and there will be some actions taken.
Kelvin, you want to come in?
Mr. Vice President, I sat and listened to you. We are talking art in business for creating an enabling environment for our people to survive, for our people to live. I heard you speak about fronting. I know that I've had conversations with even some of our foreign friends who have said trust and credibility is an issue. To take my business as an Indian and give it to Clarence Jackson, I, Kelvin, then wouldn't want to do so. And if credibility is an issue, this could drain, the economy of our country. It could affect employment. And they are called, quote unquote, the superstructure. They have a way of fighting back. They have a way that they can manipulate the system to fight back. That's one. The other issue is has been long-running business owners that then cry about the tariff at the ports. This has been a long trending and running conversation. What is the government doing about that? Every time it's just talking and talking and talking, and absolutely nothing is happening. People rather go to nearby countries like Guinea, for instance, to buy a car and drive it through our border points. What is the conversation about that?
So like I said, December, we made a report, and there are a lot of suggestions in that report. I mean, the report is to the president, and I will share with you, but there are a lot of things we say in that report. Look, we took from September to December. We spoke to all of these entities. One of the problems with the Liberia, before I come to your question about trust, is shipping lines are not regulated in Liberia. In other countries, the shipping lines are regulated. In Liberia, if you're shipping with mass line, maybe they tell you you'll pay $200-300 for the delivery order. Because when your container comes, you gotta go to the entities to get a delivery order. You go to maybe CMA, they will tell you $700. You go to the other person, so it's not regulated. In our report, we proposed to the president to set up, to either ask one of the entities to regulate them or set up a small regulatory body to regulate them. All these things affect the prices. Now, Liberians are not trusted. Look, our foreign friend can steal more than Liberian. When you hear a Lebanese or Indian or British man steal, it's not a joke. A Liberian man stealing, that's 2,000-3,000. The problem we have, I have this conversation with them. The real problem we have, which most times getting a friend, which we need to solve, is if a Liberian person is working with them, and that person stole maybe $2,000-3,000, if they took that person to court, most times you hear us say, all the money you're making here, that 3,000 billion, you won't get a man to court, then you see the pressure start to come to bear. But if a foreign person steals 100,000, they prosecute them with nobody saying, hey, all the money you're making. That's the issue. But in terms of trust, the level of stealing Liberians will do compared with the foreign people they bring, the foreign people steal more. But the act of prosecuting them, and that's why we have to come here as a government. If you are trusted to work with people and they pay you and you pay with their money, you must be prosecuted because you are destroying the way for a lot of Liberians out there. So those are areas we intend to meet them on the table. I have been proposing to few persons whether they could form a business entity, and there's a business idea we tend to throw out there to people. Anybody listening? You can form an entity, and that entity you recruit people. So if I recruit Kevin Demi as an accountant, I go to an insurance company and pay the insurance for any damages Kevin will cause. So I take Kevin to Sati Brother and say, there's an accountant, we got an insurance of $500,000 on him. And he's still up to $500,000 or $100,000 or $50,000. The insurance company will pay. But you're paying Kevin The same 1,005 or 1,008 you pay the foreign national. Other than 1,005 or 1,008 or 2,000 you pay carry. 500 I will come to my entity. Or the 500 I will use, 100 or 200 I have to pay the insurance every month. So that insurance cover you. You understand? If you form a kind of business where you create a database and get people from all walks of life, there are Liberians out there. A lot of the people looking for the kind of skill, they are here. If they aren't here, they're in the States, they're in Australia, they're in the diaspora. You can find them. If you found this entity and open it out there, I was speaking to one or two persons in country and in the diaspora. There's a big money-making thing. Form it, and all you do, go to this entity, look. You got an accountant here who is a foreign person. You got a sales manager here who is a foreign person. On our law, this person should not be here. This person should not be here. Oh, but I can find somebody. My company will give you the person. We got the person. We'll give you the guarantee. We'll give you the insurance. We got insurance covering this person. Before you vet these people too, you check their background. The country's small. We know one another. We'll follow you. Who this person, where he been working before. What's his attitude? Is he a criminal? Has he been involved with anything of such? As much as anybody can change in the future. But with all this background, putting forth some insurance and other things, you can have an entity in this country that will start sending people all around. You will have huge employment, and all the percentage you're getting, trust me, will be some huge amount you wouldn't believe. I can't do it now because I ain't got it.
Mr. Vice President, Emmanuel, you will come in shortly. Now, you've been meeting these different business people a lot. You know, as Kelvin was asking, there are just some things that we keep talking about in the country that's not moving. Government come, government go. We're repeating the same thing. We're talking the same thing over and over. One of it is the issue about bank loan that you just talked about, the interest rate versus the payment time. Are you thinking? I'm asking personally because you are a businessman and also a politician, so you understand most of these things. What would you advise the president in the context of loan for Liberian-owned businesses? I've always said, look, everybody can stay online, go to the executive mansion and tell the president to divide the money in the country. Can the government put some very good money somewhere, either at the central bank, working with Ministry of Commerce and other people, so that Liberian businesses can go there and take monies with a low interest rate,
Sure.
long payment time? And what are we thinking about? Is there any law that talks about 100% retailer right exclusively for Liberians?
I don't think we are there with that yet. And that's why, before you add all of these things, the first small one again, you take control of it first. If you cannot secure the small one, and you start to add other things, you're just making law and going nowhere. The first thing we're trying to do is to take seize of these few businesses in the Southwest. Once you take seize of them, then you get to the legislature. We've been having some legislature there in the room. I mean, Amara been in the room. We all been having discussion. You know, I've been in the Senate and the House, so I got friends there, and we've been talking to them. So once we get these first ones under control, and I can tell you, Clarence, what has been lacking is the political will. The president asked me to get involved with it. I will execute to the core, unless the president calls me back. Nobody can stop me. If you're my friend, we'll be laughing, we're having a discussion. You will do the right thing. And it's even cheaper for them if they work with Liberia. Look, to pay some of these people you bring in from out, you have to pay their ticket. Some of them got insurance on them, too many things. The money you pay them to find Liberians here that can do the job is much better for them. All we need is that political will which the president has given. The president is supporting us friendly. The reason why I came to studio is to let the country and those people involved with this matter know that the political will is behind it. It should have been the Minister of Commerce here. But I've been asked to come to studio. The president told me to come myself and let them know in 30 days we'll be having serious conversation and there will be some actions taken.
Mr. Vice President.
On the issue of the loan.
The loan, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you speak to most of the bankers, the rate of the loan is always high because the payment, most of the loan we take we not pay, which is true. There are a lot of bad loans. And so once the loans are bad, then sometimes the rate is high because the profit you will make here sometimes will take care of some of your bad loans while you're chasing. And that's why the President myself have been discussing, is President very inclined to find some money. What are 10, 20 million first? Assuming just this year we take the first 10, 20 million and put it in LBDI, Liberian Bank. LBDI has a lot of branches across the country. Let's look at the women in the market. Each of those women in the market with that table, trust me, ain't cost more than $500. They get their 2 beverages, maybe like $30 or $28, $14, $15. They get 1 tin of alcohol oil, maybe $35, $40. 2 tin of real oil, $20. Onion bag, $15, $20. Chicken soup, cartoon, pepper, grumpy bucket. The title small. With $500, that woman got a whole table. Give her the $500 and tell her maybe after 2 months she paid $1,000 every month to the bank. Yes, some of them will not pay, but those who will not pay will be blacklisted. They mean they cannot get money again anymore. Those who will pay will be opening avenue for themselves, because when you pay the $500, the next time you can say, "Lord, I'm going to pay your $500," they'll be happy to give you $1,000. When you pay the $1,000, the next time they'll be happy to give you $1,500. Look, motorcyclists. People can say, "Oh, motorcycle people," that's a big industry in this country. If motorcycle wasn't here, I tell you the criminal rate would be very high. If you go to the interior, motorcycle does all. Places ambulance can move, motorcycle moving practice with me. Motorcycle, when people die, motorcycle move them. The motorcyclists got different riders. So if you buy the bike, Clarence bought a bike and gave it to colleagues. So colleagues ought to be riding. Clarence bought it back for $1,000, gave it to colleagues for $1,300. So colleagues ought to ride it back and pay Clarence the $1,300. When he pays the $1,300, Cody owns it back. Because Cody is riding for Clarence, Cody want to make the money quick. Cody will find another person, they call that person Speckle. Speckle means spare driver. So Cody drives in the morning up to 6 in the evening, he's tired. The Speckle pick it up, he got another man, I get back. So Speckle take it and run overnight till 6 morning. And Speckle may report to Clarence and take it late share. And Cody will take it late share. Then Cody pick it up the next morning. So most of the back runs 24 hours because there's a rear driver operating and there's a Speckle driver operating. Motorcycle people know what I'm talking about. If we were to put some money in the bank and say, look, most of the bank around TVS, Bajaj and things, it's around $850 now and $950. And say, look, each of you can take $1,000 to the bank, credit, and you will work and pay the same way you supposed. So we're not adding anything. Most of these guys will own, and people can own. Some people own bikes. They got 2, 3 houses. I know people who own bikes. That from bikes they open store today. It depends how serious you are. Besides, some of the people who got their little stores, if you get someone at 10, 15,000, we need to make that decision as a government. If you depend on these foreign banks and other people to say they will get our people loan, trust me, our people will not grow. And so we have to put into place some mechanism, take some money, whether that's 10, 20 million, take from the budget and put it in an account and make sure Liberians go for it. This informal sector, there are a lot of people in the informal sector. We have to help them there while we're trying to create the bigger job, which takes time. And that would lead me to electricity. Some of the problems we got in this country, the biggest of all, I believe, and anybody can say it's a debate, is electricity.
Mr. Vice President, I will let Emmanuel come. We wanted to treat it as a discussion.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a whole discussion.
Yeah.
We will transition to other
Yeah.
areas.
Thank
But I wanted to know, in essence, Mr. Vice President, who is benefiting more for doing businesses in Liberia, and how does the climate look like for Liberian-owned businesses in essence?
The climate is very bad for Liberian business, I can say. I'm a witness. And look, I'm passionate about this because this is my area. Normally I can joke with people and say, look, I'm a real area that I'm an entrepreneur. I came to hustle and say, God bless me, I reach the level. But as soon as I finish, I'm going right back. Because that's somewhere I got passion for. If I sit here, we don't fix it, and I go back there, my friends will say, my man, you are there, you don't help out with the thing, come out or in the thing again. You're going to be talking to somebody else. And that's why I say with the speed I'm moving with the president's support and the president's instruction, unless the president slow me down, because he's the only person that can slow me down, work for him, we are moving.
Okay.
That brings me, sorry,
Go ahead,
you're
Kelvin.
concerned about the business climate prior to the start of the inception of this government. There were concerns about Medtech Scientific and CTN. What has changed? Because they're still operating, that's one. Secondly, I'm receiving reports right now that CTN has stopped all brokers from making CTN payments in the country to pay overseas.
So that's the news to me. We're going to look at that. Some of the problem we face is the issue of this law. One of the first things the president has instructed is to cancel these things. But then the lawyers we advise, the code, there's a contract. You sign a contract. For Liberia to be signing contract and canceling them, it sends a negative image out there that, look, these people, if you sign a contract with this government, when the next government comes, they cancel it. Business people will be afraid to come in your country because it's not reliable. When they sign a contract with government, regardless of what government comes in, all you can do is to fix it. And so I was instructed to look at the CTA and Medtech. So the LRA boss has advised that, look, Medtech is building a center at the port where they put in scanner and once that construction is going on already. Now, they are having discussion to carry Liberia percentage up. I think they've done that already. That the percentage they were giving Liberia is low and they were taking it upward. So LRA should be discussing that. But right after that construction, we have to look at it and see whether the LRA can take over now. And, you know, instead of them leaving it in the middle of the construction and shutting it down, we're going to court. The lawyers are saying you signed a contract. That contract was signed by your government. Despite it not being you as a person who is the justice minister or finance minister now, but you signed a contract, it's a government contract. And so those are some of the things that are keeping up. But trust me, we are looking at it and see how we can address it.
Mr. Vice President, I'm keen on the startup, the loans. You spoke about that, and you talked about political will as well. We've seen political will as somehow half done, where we've had loan schemes that now we have people being indicted for such schemes. Some of these schemes come about during political seasons, especially approaching campaign time, and you see monies will be dished out and all of that. How different is this proposal you're talking about? How different is it going to be? How impactful? And when? Because the budget is already going. We're looking at December now, for the discussion of a new budget for 2027. How soon as well can Liberians expect to see this meaningful startup loans being given to Liberian-owned businesses, not just in the urban areas, but the hinterlands as well, to see this economic growth and drive in our country?
So the budget is the president's vision. It depends what the president wants in the budget. Once the president sends his vision to the legislature look at it and see whether they can move some numbers around. But the budget is the president's budget. Like I told you the president is considering seriously this year. I had a conversation with him, so I know what I'm talking about. To put some money in the bank for business people. It would not be the regular thing, oh, what bank send money, no. We're talking about Liberian taxpayer dollars. Take some money. I had this conversation equally with the Minister of Finance. So we are discussing it across government. Take some money. What is the first $10 million? Commit it to the bank. LBDI has a system that people go and take loan. And we will follow up on it. All we want to do is whether it will be as low as maybe 2-3% or interest-free. It depends the discussions. And once that happens, where you got a bank as a business person, you go apply. One thing we intend to do that discussions are going on is to ADICA the whole country. There are discussions going on now so that we ADICA the whole country. We are trying to get a foreign company that comes in with the expertise that would do like you're doing the way we do election registration.
Like the voter ID.
The voter ID. But this time it would be the national ID. Once you register the whole country, the system has a way of sorting out everybody. So if a woman a market woman, she's selling ERW market or Joba market, it sort them out, put them into the market category and segment them. Those who are non-Liberian, but our brothers and sisters from from Africa, from West Africa, it will sort them up into a category. Our foreign friends, they will sort them up. And Liberians, it will also sort us up. So if you do that, it will also help with resident permit. Those who got resident permit, it will help with labor permit to work in the country. It will do a lot of things. So that we already put our people into category, and we know them, and you know how to target them, you know where to find them. And so there are a series of discussions going on so that it go together with what we want to do. In the States, you got social security number. We intend that this card will have a social security number. So that number is assigned to you, you die, you carry that number. That number is nobody's number. So when they tap that number in, they can find you. If you even went to raise the car, just take your ID card, they can pull it out. So it's a whole system we're trying to build. Conversations are going on. There are companies that have applied. Discussions are going on. And when we conclude them, at a certain point in this country, there could be the president will announce 1 or 2, 3 days for holiday so that people go and register everywhere. All of these things will help to know who are our target people, what are the number of people we're talking about. Because most of the numbers we throw in are just estimated number, they are not real number. These ones will give us real number.
Okay, guys, I think we can move on to the next sector. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Right now we will move to the mining sector, where the president has again given you an opportunity. I know we'll conclude with the Putu mining deal. We want you to tell the country exactly where are we now. But recently you visited Grand Kit Mount and you visited B Mountain, and as a result of that visit and some of the information that came up, there were multi-dimensional discussions across the country about the mining laws of the country. Some are calling for reform and all these things. But you looked surprised when you went there. Why did you look that way? You were a representative, you became senator, you signed onto some of these agreements. Why did you look surprised?
So it was my first time at B Mountain site. I've never been there before. That was my very first time at B Mountain site.
Wow.
I thought B Mountain was some small company, digging somewhere. I didn't know until I went there that day, so I was shocked. I was like, wow, the guys are huge here. And from what I saw, B Mountain is the biggest taxpayer in the country. I thought Mita was the biggest. But B Mountain paid more money to government than Mita. I didn't know that. Yes, I got to know that when I got there. Now, is everything okay there? No. Are there issues? Yes. Can we solve it? Yes, but it requires discussion because we just passed the MDA in 2023. Again, It's a government that passes it. You have to be careful that this government come and pass something and you just come in and scratch it down. Again, the message you send it to the world is that you want to do business in Liberia, you got to do it with that government for 6 years. After 6 years, you don't know what to expect the next 6 years. Nobody will move their money into an environment that is not stable. Now, there are a lot of discussions going on. For some reason, a vice president, not everything I can say. Something I can say, I will say. Something I can say, the president can say. But I will move to B Mountain this year. B Mountain is projected to produce 370,000 ounces of gold this year, 2026. Fortunately, this year, B Mountain will be paying some profit and thing to Liberia because they've gotten most of their investment. They are in a stage where they have to pay. If you look at direct and indirect taxes this year, B Mountain is projected at paying a minimum of $250 million to Liberia. On the high side, they could be paying up to $300 million. Mittal Steel, on the low side, Mittal should be paying, Mittal is projected to move about 20 million tons this year. If they move 20 million tons, they are projected to be paying about $150 million on the low side. On the high side, Mittal could pay up to $200 million. You have Bad Chico. Bad Chico should be moving 1 million tons of ore this year. It's a projection. I mean, they could move more, they could move below, but their projection is about 1 million tons. And Bad Chico should be paying about 10 million to Liberia. You have China Hill. China Hill should be moving 2.5 million tons of ore this year. And direct, indirect taxes should be about $2.5 million. Now, if you put the mining sector together, on the low side from the mining sector, we should be getting about $485 million this year. On the high side, we should be getting about $585 million. That leads me to electricity. Why am I going to electricity? The last time we had a discussion, and the president is very serious about electricity. So the president wrote some communication and asked me to talk to B Mountain, talk to Mittal, and most of the major mining companies in Liberia. I should have gone to Dubai the morning the bombing started. And so we got our tickets and everything. But when we were about to move, the bombing started that very morning. And so we came back. Now, if we don't solve electricity problem, everything we'll be doing in Liberia, regardless of which government, will be window dressing. Electricity is the major problem for which this country will never grow unless we touch electricity. Electricity is everything. Look, without electricity, the hospital will not work. Regardless of how much, go buy the MRI, bring the hemoglobin machine, the dialysis machine, and anything you bring in the country. Ain't no way electricity can come. When it come one time, boop, 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 the third time it blow acid up in it. Something will spoil. A machine you invested millions of dollars in, you have to move them. Sometimes somebody is on the table, they doing surgery, that person on oxygen. And electricity just went off, it costs people life in this country. The health sector will not work, regardless of how much money you put in it, if electricity is not taken care of. Agriculture will not work. Because if our mothers, sometimes you go on the man back the road, you see the people growing, all their little potato green, but also pepper and things. When that woman grew that potato green for 1-2 months, water in everything, and cut the greens, put in the big lapa and put it in the taxi and bring it to Red Lake. Our people go in the market in the morning, they want to buy fresh green. So they buy the fresh one. By afternoon time, 2, 3 o'clock, the sun not come out, the green get folded. The next morning, nobody want to buy it. 2, 3 days, get red, the woman throw it away. And then she get discouraged. All the time I spend in the swamp, and, you know, I didn't even get anything for this thing. I'm not going to do any potato green thing again. I will be passing around asking the people to help me with better than to waste my energy here. If you have electricity here stable and very cheap, any of you can choose to build a cold room to a temperature where you can store vegetable. You get a little picker, you get a little small truck, and just put your number up. Anybody who grow potato green, when they're ready to harvest, they call you. Call you or Clarence, I get potato green, I get almost 1 kilo, 10 kilo or 1 ton of potato green. You go there to harvest, or you buy it, put it in your truck, you pay, then come and put it in your storage. Okra, pepper, and even the plum we're doing now. Right now, plum is wasting, so you see the whole bucket at $100. Right after this season, 1 month from now, one plum you can sell that same bucket you bought for $100 for $10 you and people will be happy to buy. But because there's no storage, there's no electricity, this thing get destroyed. Clarence, you're a teacher. They pay you maybe $250, $100, $150 US with 15,000 LD. You live somewhere around SKD Boulevard. Your wife got to go to market, either Oro or ERW market or Relay. If you got a motorbike, maybe it'll be 200 LD to go, 200 LD to come. 200 LD, that take the rate at 200, though the rate 180 something, but I take it at 200. It means $1 to go, $1 to come. A teacher, your wife have to go to the market every day for 30 days in a month. So she spend $1 in the morning, she go, she come, she cook. The food you eat in the morning, if the trainer warm it soon, they will waste that one. Then she go back. So you realize your wife is spending about $60. Some distances that are short, you pay 100 LD to go, 100 to come. You pay $30 for only transportation to go in the market. If electricity was stable, you buy a little small freezer, $250, $300. Maybe you take it from the LPA store and be paying $25 every month. Your wife can go in the market one time, buy potato green, palm butter, cassava leaf, or she bring it, she package it, buy chicken feed carton and thing, and you know, she pack it, bring it, and put it in the freezer. Every day, if she won't cook every day, she just take one Saturday and Sunday, she cook 2 days and put all the soup in the rubber pan and put it in the box. When you come from where you get a little small microwave, cut some soup, put small red, make it hot. You eat some, you tired, they have red, you put it back. The next day, you can't eat that same red, you put it in the microwave. It cut down a lot of expenses on our people.
Yeah, and Mr. Vice President, we spend some more time on electricity because I know I was part of a forum on your farm. I think it was 1 or 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. You converge stakeholders.
So let me tell you what the president is thinking now.
Yes, I wanted to know what's your vision for getting rid of the electricity problem so that we don't keep complaining every time back and back.
Long-term plan.
To get rid of electricity, like I told you, the president asked me to sit with some of the major companies. I sat with Mita and the CFO of Mita. My conversation with him was, look, the president wants to solve this electricity problem. Mita, you need electricity. Right now you pay 18 to 21 cents for electricity. You need power as cheap as 10 cents and below to make your project viable. We have all of our rivers, but we don't have that single big capital to invest. Can you do that investment? And we discuss whether we can commit some of the taxes you're supposed to pay to us. We commit it, and this will take a whole of government approach. The legislature, the executive, we have to come together and say, look, take some of these taxes And when the electricity come up, if you're taking 100 megawatt, need 100 megawatt. Take the 100 megawatt for the next 5-10 years until you get. We can have some discussion. We met with B Mountain. B Mountain, besides doing mining, they are heavily into construction. I'm told, if I'm right, they built an airport in Ghana. They've done a lot of hydro. As we speak, there are a team from B Mountain in country looking at our hydro, man coffee. They are doing the study now. They gave some consent and they are doing the study now. What are our problems?
You meant to say Metal Steel? Or?
No, we're talking to Metal, we're talking to B Mountain.
Okay.
So B Mountain got a team in country.
Okay.
They are good at building hydro. They told the president in a meeting they can build a hydro for 3 years. They can get it ready. Why do they say our hydro don't work during the dry? Because we got...
Excuse me, at the same place where we have our current hydro or a new hydro?
Okay, so there was a study done in the 70s, and that study has been improved on. The Via River and the St. Paul River, there's 2 rivers running to Mount Coffee. There's the Via River and the St. Paul River. Those rivers, when they flow in, they meet, they flow into the Mount Coffee, but during the dry, it gets dry. This study says there should be a reservoir built. There should be a reservoir built that can store the water, control the flow of the water. Once you build that reservoir, whether dry or rain, you will have always a flow of water, because all you need is the force of the water to turn the turbine. Okay. And that's why we make the hydro very cheap. You just need water to flow. The study says, and World Bank has also said that, to build the reservoir, the preliminary studies show you need $1 billion. So every time we hear 1 billion, we say, no need to even start. Why are we going with 1 billion? But we got to take a step. If you don't start, you will never start. You have to start. Some of my discussion with the president said, look, Chief, we may not have the money. We might need about 2 billion to 3 billion in the electricity sector. Because we're not just talking generation. To do the reservoir, to do the turbine, that's one aspect. Right now, the line coming from Mount Coffee to Monrovia, transporting the power, the high tension line, we lost about 3-4%. Because the lines are smaller, we need to re-strengthen those lines. So every power that leaving Mount Coffee, we lost about 3-4%. We have 4 turbines in Mount Coffee. Prior to the war, it was the same 4 turbines. But those turbines were 16 megawatt each. When the war came, it got destroyed. People looked at the place. We remodeled the turbine and put the same 4 turbine, but this time we made it 22 instead of 16 megawatt. And that's how we got 88. When it got through, one of it got problem, and so we lost 22 and we have 66. So during the rainy season, the 66 flow. During the dry, the water go low, and we lost almost everything and only get small from that. Now, if that reservoir is built beside Mount Coffee, right by the reservoir, you can do St. Paul 4. You got St. Paul 1. They started talking about St. Paul 1, St. Paul 2, St. Paul 3, St. Paul 4. St. Paul 4 is projected around 400 megawatts. It's right close to the reservoir. If you put a turbine there, and the guys are saying they can cascade a turbine, meaning they put some here, they put some here. If we can get about 400, 500 or even 1,000 megawatt after building the reservoir, Liberia is ready. And look, when you get that done, the tourism sector will pick up. In Liberia, hotel is very expensive.
Okay, Mr. Vice President, let's take a mini break. We come back.
Yeah, sure. Of course, you're listening to
Let's take a mini break.
the Super Morning Show this morning. We have the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. This broadcast has been relayed on several stations around the country. We have OKFM, Prime FM, Cool FM, Spoon TV, a Classic FM in Kakata, Radio Magibi, Radio Tukba, Smart Radio, Radio Banga, Super Bunkies, Radio Kintuman, Voice of Lofar, Voice of Nimba, Smart FM, and several online platforms as well. So let's take this short break to be right back. My name is Emmanuel Tato Mukoli. This break, stay with us.
So folks, thanks for always being there. This is Mike, Think Positive Father, and I'm coming to you live from the main studio So folks, thanks for being there, thanks for following. This is my Captain Positive Father. I'm coming to you live from the main studio of the ELBC, where the Vice President speaks on critical national issues, a wide range of issues. And we are here with schools of panelists from OKFM, Prime FM, Spoon TV, and ELBC as well. This is my Captain Positive Father, and we are following.
Of course, the Super Morning Show, a very special edition with the Liberian Vice President Jeremiah Kpan. We are talking a lot of different issues. Initially, we started the conversation with the business environment. How does the climate look like for Liberian businesses? And the Vice President has said, with the permission of the President, he's upbeat, he's ready to lead a robust campaign to ensuring that the business environment is favorable for Liberian businesses. And I mean, we also transition, we talk about money, we end on with the electricity, and we took that break.
Yeah,
Kelvin is here, and of course Damo and Clarence, we are heading this broadcast.
Thank you. I think Damo is coming in. But before Damo comes in, Mr. Vice President, when I was asking about bee mounting, it was just something to stir you up, but I was driving at a discussion. Now, what is it about the money laws of the country?
So you want me to conclude the electricity?
The electricity. I thought you've concluded. Okay, yeah, just conclude.
So somebody listening out there will say, yeah, we hear all the problems. We hear how you will solve it, how you will get the money. We had a meeting with the executive of B Mountain, the president chaired that meeting. And like I said, this would be a whole of government approach. Mm-hmm. If B Mountain should be giving out 250 to 300 million a year, is it possible to come tell B Mountain, look, take that money. LRA will work with you. It shouldn't come on budget. Maybe it will just go through the consolidated back, or we have some conversation. That look, if you keep $250 million on the low side for 3 years, that's $750 million. Start the projects. If they can get it done, if they raise 300 million, then we're talking about 900 million, we can pay in 3 years. In 3 years' time, we tell them, look, keep your money, don't pay us. Do the hard road. Let's tighten the screw. Announce to the country that, look, these 3 years, Company X and Company Y will not be paying, and so things will get tough. We adjust travel, we adjust other places in the budget to make sure we adjust to the extent that, because we have to take out the foundational problem. Once we can get that done, in 3 or 4 years, once that project is done, the project is bankable. Meaning, once the project get up, any bank ready to put money in it. At this time, you can give Mita 100 megawatt. A Mita is supposed to pay 25, 30, 40 million a year for 100 megawatt. We tell you, look, we just had this project. We give you 100 megawatt. We want you to pay us 2 years in advance, or pay us 1 year in advance. We take it and pay against our debt. B Mountain will say we need about 50 megawatt. We'll give it to them. All the cement factory. You will see a lot of industry running to Liberia. The market in Liberia is not just Liberia. Look, the forest region of Guinea, the Zerikuli area, all the way coming to Lola. You know what I'm talking about. Bosu and all those places. There's a huge population sitting over there. From there to Conakry is almost 1,000 kilometers. It's easier and better to come to Monrovia for their goods. Whether that's rice, whether that's cement, and whatsoever, it's cheaper to come to Monrovia. Whether somewhere in the Sierra Leone, the border, around the Sierra Leone border and so, all those people, it's cheaper to come to Liberia for their goods than to go Freetown. In Danley, the Ma area, in Cote d'Ivoire. So it's a whole market you're talking about, not just the 5.2 million people sitting here. You're talking about almost 4-5 million people in Guinea. You're talking about another 2-3 million in Sierra Leone, and maybe 1 or 2 in Cote d'Ivoire. You're talking about that. So it's a big market. You will see a lot of people running in here to produce and supply this market. If we don't get electricity done, and this is the president's statement, nothing will work. Before I close, in the 60s, and you can Google it, I was trying to find out when Ghana did her hydro. In the 60s, from 1964, 65, 57, President Tubman and Kwame Nkrumah was talking about building hydro. Kwame Nkrumah built a hydro of 1,020 megawatts in the 60s. We did 30. That is to tell you how we think. We think about today. And because of today's thinking, all of us leaders, all of us, and because of today's thinking, the country is what it is. We have to think beyond us. And that's why it will tie some money in the budget. And you say the mining sector, look, President Barack said he ran a budget of 600 million. The country didn't buy. They started with 80 million. The country didn't buy. We are 1.2 billion. We can commit the mining sector. The financial people do the detail. But we have to take a bold and strong. Because if you go to World Bank and all these people and want to credit, they will want sovereignty guarantee and all these things. Look, the people already moving. The resources for the country, they know they got it on the ground. The studies are done. They know they are here for the next 10, 15 years. Mita here for the next 100 years. All the time, Mita will be here. Let's put the investment now so that we save ourselves in the future.
Okay.
Mr. Vice President, I listened to you on the energy sector. That's one of the committees, again, the president entrusted you with, the LEC committee. You met with stakeholders and the rest. But you're talking long-term and sustainable term as well. You mentioned Ghana and where we are and our thinking. That's big. But Liberians are concerned about the intermediate solutions until we get to the bigger one. What are we looking at in terms of renewables? What are we looking at in terms of what we're getting from the West African power pool and the rest? What are we doing to stabilize the bleed until we can have a final solution for ourselves?
So that is already ongoing, but it's not enough. Look, power is life. The geopolitics can spin at any time. Right now we're getting power from Cote d'Ivoire. We're getting power from Guinea. Guinea just did, I think, 300 megawatts. I think the last 1-2 years. Guinea just did 300 megawatts. The reason why Guinea giving up power is because I think their infrastructure to transport power and things. So they're giving us some for now. But Guinea just put a flare across the border. Why did they decide to cut the current off? What happened? Assuming we in Cote d'Ivoire, there's an issue, we take a vote at the UN Security Council or so, and Cote d'Ivoire not happen, they cut us off. Your power cannot be dependent on other countries. You have to make a decision as a government, and that's where the president is taking this country. The president is making a very strong decision. Yes, things will get tough at a certain point, but when we cross that bridge, the country will pick up and will never go back. Asia 4 is another place we're looking at. We're talking to people to come and do the Asia 4. The Asia 4 is the big generator you see around the Freeport area there. When we got there, it used to be 38 megawatt. That man said he put there, and President Barack got there. But because the machine has stayed so long, right now we're getting something like 18, 20 megawatt out of it. The space is enough to take about 150 megawatt. We're trying to see whether we can get engines, and discussions are far ongoing. LEC has signed some memorandum of understanding, and discussions are going on with the agreement to do 150 megawatt at Bourgeois Island. That is expensive because you got to use the heavy fuel, and sometimes you use the rear fuel, and so you got to set it up. That is the first one we need to do to keep the place stable while we're looking at the hydro. The studies show that to set up a 150 megawatt plant, the guys are saying it could take them 2 years, and the hydro will take 2 years and 3 years. So they tell you everything will take time. There is not a quick fix here. The LEC manager is checking around on the market because this engine, when you put in for them, sometimes it takes 1 year to build them. And so unless you lock it that somebody put in for them and the person not using it for some reason, or somebody got rid of what they put in for, and you get the engine and then you bring it in. So they're checking out to see where they can find some 50, 60 megawatt, bring it in country, immediately install it to see how we can mitigate the coming dry season, because this one almost gone, to mitigate the problem this coming dry season. But we have to go with the 2 years and the 3 years. We have to take a decision to invest $2-3 billion into electricity. And we got to commit to do that. Look, to generate the power is one thing. To transport the power is another thing. That transmission. Our transmission system is very weak too. It requires huge investment. The substation, ERW, not ERW, right?
Yeah, Joba.
Joba is one of our biggest substations. But I think Joba can take up to 20 or 30 megawatt. If you have 50 megawatt, you put in Joba, you can take it. You go to Ralphie Highway, so we need to upgrade all of the substations so that when the power, so we need to do generation, transmission, and distribution. All these three sectors must be taken care of. When you do that, trust me, tourism will work, agriculture will work, health will work, every other thing. So you got to deal with the foundational issue so that when the structure is going up, then you don't have a problem. But if you don't deal with the foundation, every time the structure is going, there's a crack in the foundation, we break the whole wall down and we restart. And that's why we're being on for the foundation of this
Just
country.
Honorable Vice President, you have laid it out. It sounds amazing. But my question is, if the weight is so heavy on the state, and this discussion has been ongoing for years upon years, why can't we have a PPP? Or why can't we just privatize a sector within the energy domain there? Either the distribution, the government can handle the generation. Why aren't we looking in that direction to make it effective, efficient, and it works for Liberia?
So most of the big money, but when somebody taking that $2 billion to bring in a country to invest, the first thing you need sovereign guarantee. Some of the guarantee they will be asking for, the World Bank will not agree for to do it. World Bank will tell you that you can't pass here, you can't go so, you can't count on this side. And these are big international bodies. And you tell them no, they pull out from your country, all the other entities around the world will run away from you, because if you don't, it happened here. When President Weah took over, 2018, the decision was we're not going to World Bank. World Bank can slow people down. We need to move. That's when we went for Eton and Iboma to see how we could do the roads. 2019, they screw everywhere. We could not pay salary. So the whole country, well, the government can pay salary. We have to run back and say, World Bank, look, we're here. We thought we could make it, and so these things are set up to the extent that country like us is difficult to fight. We are the small people down here, the big boys making the decision out there. We have to find our way. These people pay our taxes. Most of the money comes on the budget. Last time the president myself was talking at the chief. When UM City started at 80 million, the biggest problem we had in this country was security people now on payroll, volunteer security people, volunteer health worker, volunteer teacher, volunteer chiefs. That's the problem we have. The budget went to 600 million. Volunteer teacher, volunteer security, volunteer health worker, and volunteer. The budget is at 1.2 billion. We just did a supplementary of 53 million. Most of the money that volunteer chiefs, that volunteer, so it will not finish. And because the environment is not okay for business and private sector because there's no electricity, so everybody want to go to government.
every Liberian child growing up know that the only way you can ride a brand new car is to be in government. So you either representative, you either minister or assistant minister, then you ride a brand new car. Other than that, there's less than 1% of the population that can really struggle to buy themselves a new car. So the country thinking now is every child going to school is not thinking on the private sector. All the thinking on is, my man, the only way you can survive unless you go to government. We have to break down. That's what this president is saying. To do that, we got to go to the foundational issue that is electricity.
Okay, Mr. Vice President, before we take to the lands, importantly, you will give us an update about the Putu mine deal. How far has your committee worked? You know, what is no secret is that following the sensational hostilities in this country, we needed investors to come. So the argument is that most of the deals the legislature signed were to attract investors.
Sure.
Years have come and years have gone now. And I'm taking you back to the mining thing. There are a lot of Liberians who think our mining laws are bad. And they think we are not doing anything to straighten up the mining law. People believe that when we are negotiating and discussing, we get too much to the concessionaires, to these companies, than we will do for Liberia. You being at the House of Representatives, you were at the Senate, you're Vice President now of the country. Do you hold that view? What can we change?
So yes, Clarence, most of the deal we had after the war, no business person wanted to bring that money here. So the people can find it and they'll take money and run away. So the first thing the businessman got to insure money. The insurance rate is very high. And when the insurance rate is high, the man got to put it on you. So time has passed. We've gone through 2, 3, 4 elections. The world knows Liberia is peaceful. We are on track. When you sign contract, we don't come and just cancel them. We are on course. The just in the meter deal we had was good.
That's good.
Very good. Not very good, but good. Before, this big company paying $50,000 for mining lesson for 25 years. They pay the $50,000 for 25 years. They finish, they get our mining lesson. The new agreement says, Meta will pay $500,000 every year for that mining lesson.
The one that were paying $50,000 for 25 years.
For 25 years. They're paying $500,000 every year now. This is the first time we got 200 million in signature bonus. It never happened in this country before. There are some good things. Did we get all we wanted? No. But we made some strides. If we have the opportunity to look at B Mountain again, and look at Bar Chico and China Yu and all these people, some of them still paying the $50, the $50,000, we will change them. But they have to reach a point where it comes to the table for discussions, and we have this conversation. Now, that leads me to Putu. Putu Mines was given to, and please give me the MDA. Putu Mine was signed in 2010. In 2010, and some of the documents, I can leave that with you. It's a public document. This is the Putu Agreement, the MTA. September 20th, 2010, this law was passed, giving Putu to a company called the Putu Iron Ore Mining Incorporated and the Manon River Iron Ore Limited and the Liberian government. This deal is for 25 years. For somebody in the market out there listening to me, it means you get your horse, you lease your horse to someone for 25 years. So the person get a lease agreement for the house. Now, we get it stuff to this company. So many people behind this company are Russians. When Ebola came, they started. When Ebola hit, most of the companies left. China, most of these companies went. Putu left. They got sanctioned. The American people say nobody can do business with them. Since then, they got a deal, but they can't come. By 2020, 2021, they wrote the last regime that, look, we want to give this thing out to somebody because We got issues, and we can't come, and we can't keep holding it. Under the law in the MDA, they got a first right to give it up to somebody, but the government must consent. Say, okay, we agree. You want to give it to Clarence? You want to give it to Demi? Okay, we agree. If the government think Clarence not okay, Demi not okay, the government can equally recommend Damo. They got a right to say no. So we both must agree on somebody. During the President Weah time, there was a discussion with a company called ROG. You had Hugh Mason and other Liberians behind it. So they went far with the discussion. Then we came and took over. When we took over, the President reviewed the records, and the President set up a committee of the Ministerial Concession Committee to look at this and see how we can move this thing forward. That committee shortlisted 3 companies. One was AMR, that we got Sheriff Adala, Liberian BLA. We got Jindal Steel, it's an Indian company, it's very big in India. And we got Planet One, it's a company based in Dubai with partners in India. They shortlisted the 3 companies and sent to the President and look, we don't due diligence. Any of these 3 can do the work. The President said, you limit it to 1. These are business people. Why having this conversation? Some of these guys have gone to the Russians. Look, the Liberians are doing some work trying to see how they can vet a company. But I apply, and I want to start talking to you so that in case I'm preferred by them, then I can also be okay with you, because when I'm preferred by them, unless you agree. So there were some people ahead of the talk. The committee recommended the AMR, a Liberian company, which is good. We want Liberians to get in this sector to make money. And so the letter was written, I think sometime November, December last year. Wrote the Russians that, look, we recommending to you this company to look at them and see how you can. So he left with the company now to that business people talking. That government can go there and say, you can't talk, you supposed no. So they started working with them. AMR started working with the Russians. Every time the President had the committee telling him, look, we on course, we on course. From December, January, February, March, 4 months gone.
This year.
This year, nothing happened.
December last year to
December, yeah, November, December last year. I got all the letters, so I could give you some. I think November it was written or so. So 4 or 5 months gone, and the President keep hearing, but we almost there, we're almost there. So the President said, look, Mr. Vice President, he wrote me and said, look, get involved, get a committee together. I'm hearing update, but I think this thing is delaying too much. These are some of the bread and butter issues we're talking about. If this thing come up, it will have a lot of people employed, especially in the southeastern part of the country. When I got a communication, I convened a meeting immediately. I sent for AMR, look, we recommended you, how far you going with the discussion? Oh, we gone far. Can you send me documentation to prove that you've gone far with them and what the status? The NRC, how far are we? They gave me all the documentation, and so my team and myself started to review it. So we asked the Minister of Mines to write the Russian to find out as to how far you're going with the people we recommended. The Russian responded, now look, I will summarize it, and I can share that communication with you. Okay. Now look, the people you recommended to all are the least. We gave them the data to look at the data. They haven't come back to us yet with the conclusion of their report from the data. We asked them for proof of fund. What proof you can get or that you got money to run this mine? They haven't given you a written communication showing on the proof of funds so we can verify. If they conclude with the data process and give us a proof of fund, from that day, we will take about 6 months to 1 year to sign the sales agreement. Now, one aspect. When the sales agreement is signed, the next thing will be to pay us. You cannot just pay us because you have to go to offer this entity set up in America that people who on sanction. How do you pay them? Because you cannot pay the Russians direct. You have to pay them looking at all the sanction things. So there must be an agreement where the American government, the entity in America will have to come in and say, look, okay, maybe you can put the money in the account. It will be there until they may leave from sanction. Some discussion. They say that one will also take another 6 months to 1 year. So it means your people here recommended they did the feeling with their study and give a proof of fund that they are not done for the last 4 or 5 months. Then we'll start. It could take 1 year or 2 years. When that letter came, we sent it to AMR Sheridan. You say you're going well with these people. Can you respond to this letter? They gave her another response. We add a communication to it, send it to the Russian. But you told our people the least, but our people say this, this, and this. One of the things that flagged in the communication is saying that AMR said they had an agreement, a memorandum of agreement with the government of Liberia. So we sent all the documents. The Russian responded. We want you to know, to summarize it, that this mountain is in our possession. We got the license for it until our time expires. If you sign any agreement with anybody, we are not part of it and we are not party to it. We want to make it clear in this communication. And we keep telling you, the people we are recommending to you, look at them. These people will waste your time and you're going nowhere with this now. I'm paraphrasing. When that communication came to us, we invited the AMR, Sherry King. Sherry is my friend. We all do business together. I said, my man, from all indication, the people don't want to work with you. And we got to agree with them so we can force them. The people say you are not giving them proof of fund. Where is your proof of fund? He will tell me, we're talking to African Finance Corporation. Yeah, they are big company. They got a lot of money. The other group got a lot of, yes, but all the people got baby money. But how much have they committed to this project? We couldn't get it. So then the committee took a decision that, look, let's look at what the people presenting. So we wrote them. The Minister of Mines were asked to write. If we were to go with the company you are recommending, and that company is one of the 3 companies that was shortlisted by the committee prior to my coming. It's called Planet One. If we were to go with Planet One as you have recommended, how long will it take you to do the sales agreement and to take care of the sanction part? They say in 10 business days, they will conclude the sales agreement. There's the same agreement they say they will take 6 months to 12 months with the people we recommended. But for the people they recommended, it will take 10 days. How long it will take to complete the sanction process? They say within 6 months, we'll complete the sanction process. For our people, we recommended it will take 6 months to 1 year. So with that, we took a decision.
What is that decision?
Now look, let's go with what they are proposing.
Planet One.
Planet One. So we wrote Planet One that, look, we received a communication from Silver Star, the Russian group, recommending you. Can you furnish us with your proof of fund and whatsoever you have? They presented to us the document. Please give me. They presented to us the document. I can leave it with you. I will ask the minister whether it's public. If it's not public, I won't give it to you. They presented to us a documentation. And this documentation is a whole document proving to us their proof of funds, which banks, all the banks are listed here, the amount of money and whatsoever. When they presented all of these documents, we're left with no option to conclude and say, look, the Minister of Mines should write and authorize that the government has agreed and they can go ahead and change the control. Change control means the flipping from this company to this company. Remember, this deal has been done. It's not going back to the legislature.
So this is as a result of the Liberian companies' continued lack of capacity.
According to the Russian who should agree with us. The Liberian company has given them no proof of fund. The Liberian company has not concluded the due diligence on the study yet. And as of the day they will conclude, then the discussion will start. So meaning, even in the 4 or 5 months we're talking, they haven't started anything.
But notwithstanding, you had a conversation with your partner, you said, Abdallah Sharif. Were you convinced that he could meet up to the tax?
Did they convince the government?
Because it's one thing. I know you don't want to put him on the spot, but can you say this to the public?
So me as a person, this is my own opinion, he didn't convince me. Me.
He didn't convince you?
Yes. And I believe they didn't convince the committee further. Because every committee member signed and said, look, our guy is delayed and let go with what the people are presenting. So the committee took a decision.
Mr. Vice President, we're about to go to the phone lines, but I just want to throw in this question quickly. I just got back from Putu about 3 days ago. Went on a site visit, just to get a clearer understanding. Because when we went to B Mountain, I could see your face, when you were told, in essence, how much gold they take from year. Putu, the place is devastated with poverty. That's a fact. The community there, Tiamanstown, they don't even have a clinic. They don't have a school. And they sit on billions of dollars. There's been this conversation that we've been settling for less. And you are now at the helm of this. Yes, it's not going back to the legislature, but what are you going to do differently as head of this committee to make sure that those who sit on these deposits, the benefit as compared to what we've been seeing as the trend in Liberia?
So the first thing I want to establish is we are not having new discussion.
Sure.
There is already a deal signed for 25 years from 2010. This deal got time to review. Unless the time for review comes, then the executive will review and send to the legislature. As it stands, the deal remains as is. We're not crossing no T, we're not dotting no I. All we're doing is the Russian, because they are sanctioned and think they cannot run this mine, we can't keep it here like this. Our people in the southeast need to get job too. And so they are finding a different company to say, Eli, you got your house, I got my house, lease it to you. You lease the house for 2 years. You spend 6 months, you won't move. And in the lease agreement, it says you can lease it to Kevin, but you can only lease it to Kevin for that balance 1 year and 6 months. You can't lease it more than. So any business they're doing now, it will be from 2010, 25 years, minus the years. So we're talking maybe 9 years balance they are giving to these people. Now, they should be paying the government of Liberia $40 million or thereabout, plus or minus, for a cumulative social development fund and taxes they should have been paid to government. I am told about 75% of our money is going to the affected community. That's Grand G there, that River G, and that Sino. Imagine putting $20, $25, $30 million right after the deal. They changed. I'm told Wednesday they're signing the sales agreement.
This Wednesday?
Day after tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
In fact, they wrote the minister, because to sign our sales agreement, you must pay 10,000 Liberian dollars for the invoice, and US dollars, sorry. So they asked the government for the invoice. I spoke to the minister this weekend. I'm told the invoice gone, or it should be leaving today. And so when the invoice goes, they will have to pay that $10,000 US to LRA. That is the fee that is leaving Silver Star to Planet One. That's the fee. Same deal, nothing changed. Minus the time they have used, the balance down, that's what they signed it for.
With all the conversations that are ongoing, Mr. Vice President, how soon do we expect the reactivation of this Putu?
So if they sign the sales agreement on Wednesday, which ends the 10 business working day they told us about, then the first part of the discussion, they said we are on course. They said it would take 6 months. Within 6 months, they will finish the sanction process. Because to pay the Russians, I'm told some of the agreement they got is, they want the offer. Offer is this people who look at people who are sanctioned in these kind of cases. How do you pay them? They are having an agreement that say, look, they will find a bank, and the other company will deposit the people money in that bank and say your money you spend for the time you had a project, we put it in the bank. And it will be in our bank until the man can clear himself from sanction before he has access to that. That's a whole process they are dealing with. The Planet One group to us, they've hired 4 law firms. 2 law firms in America, 1 in London, and 1 in Singapore. They are very good at these things. And so we expect that in 6 months from the signing on Wednesday, so they sign in March, we will be looking at, not March, this is April, right?
Yes,
April. So that May, June, July, August, September, October. So let's say between now to December, we expect that they can pay the Russians and pay us our 40 million, of which 25, 30 million will be going to the southeast, the 3 counties. And you're talking about cleaning, you're talking about, these are big social development funds that will impact the counties immediately. And when that happens, they sign, they told us, in 15 to 20 months, they will move the first iron ore through the port of Greenville. So we're talking about soon. And once these things start in the southeast, that part of the country will start to get life. People will start to work. Some of you might leave from here, go there, maybe public relations officer for the company or whatsoever. So it is solving the bread and butter issues we keep talking about.
Kelvin, you want to ask a final question?
Yeah,
Yes.
my final question is just on 2 force, a wrap up on the Bee Mountain. You did go to Bee Mountain quite recently. It generated a huge debate. I'm quite sure you followed the debate. You talk about what you saw. I'm not so sure you were able to zero in on what you frowned on, what displeased you, Mr. Vice President, and then we can go into the yellow machine thing, the status of the whole yellow machine conversation.
So because when I went there and left, there was some tension and the demonstration and other things. These are investors, as much as we may not be happy with some of the things, the way to do it, not to start jumping on things and branding things and other things. So some of the briefing I briefed the president. The president has informed the relevant entities involved. So discussions are going on. I would not want to start throwing something
Great.
out
Were you able to have a conversation with the workers there? Because sometimes people like you go there and they prevent you from having a conversation with the real people.
I wasn't able to see the worker. I mean, in a room we were, there were some of the top Liberian management people. They were all Liberians in uniform. I saw them. I mean, we all talked, but there was no deep conversation. I was just asking based on what I saw, and that briefing was given to the president.
Okay.
The president has informed the relevant stakeholder, and discussions are going on. Because it's sensitive, some of the issues, I don't want to sit here as a leader and start throwing something, people jumping in the street. Yellow machine.
Yeah, the yellow machine. The first batch in country, it generated a lot of excitement.
So the
People
first
are
batch,
concerned how soon would these all
Again,
come. Yeah.
almost all of the equipment are packing in I think, Abidjan or St. Petro Port.
The remaining ones?
Yes. Okay. And it's the same thing I'm talking about. So the big vessel some of the big vessel, 15, 20, 30,000 containers on board. It can fit in our port. So it comes, it go to Abidjan, it go to Accra, it dock in this port. Sometimes St. Petro. Then the CMA, Max Line, all these companies will have to find a smaller vessel to take them and bring them. And there where the delay is. And those things are in our report to the president. These are places within the law. They have to speed up some of these things. If you brought some of the equipment, maybe it's government equipment, so they might bring it faster. But there are business people continue sitting there that have been there for months. And because they are big entities, they are giants, they got people sitting behind there. You're talking about, they say, they are no tuning player, all these big people. You know, the whole world starts with 2-3 persons running the first. So the first thing, when the American president speaks, and maybe the president of China, the French president, Great Britain, when they 4 or 5 men talk, Everybody got to be waiting what they say. Because they are the power that be. And so you have to be careful the way you deal with them. But we can still deal with them. They can still use their B-men power. But some of the things are happening ugly to all we have. Look, the European ambassador to Liberia called me the last time that we weren't treating European businesses fair. APN terminal and field businesses. And I told them, you people are not treating us fair too. And we had a frank conversation in our meeting. And there are further meetings. They agree in our meeting that we should do a platform where when there are issues with their company. So some of the big companies, to take on them like that, they are heavy costs. So then the warehouse call you and say, look, Clarence, we're talking to you. Mita is our friend. Then you have to, sometimes the call comes from this country. It's a tight space to be in. But we agree with you people, but our people too knocking us. So the other small one here, Chief, can we, so those are the kind of discussions we are
Does
having.
that mean that we're not going to start any sooner because we have the remainder of our equipment into the Lakota,
No,
San Pedro?
I'm told one small vessel brought some already there at the port as we speak. It's on the Liberian water. I think it should be docking in either this morning or tomorrow or so. So because the vessels are small, so we think that maybe between now to the end of the month, all the equipment will be in country. And by the end of the month, hopefully, as soon as we get in June, the equipment should start moving to the counties, deploying them to the counties.
Okay.
Yes. And so, the last time I listened to one or two persons, they say, the people bring a machine, they carry Arago, they go pack it there. No, we carry Arago. It's just that the shipping company are not coming to Liberia directly, and so they have to use.
So why we can't freight it? Maybe we can use a trucking service to have them transported. I think San Pedro is shorter to Liberia through the Liberian Ivory Coast border.
So those are new equipment. The first thing, some of them come on the container, maybe they got a tire off or so. You got to go get them together. And you pay for destination. You pay already to deliver to Liberia. You go put on the road, people driving all the equipment, some fall down on the road, some of that thing happen. You can't explain. People beat on you. You couldn't pay to real Liberia, you go put it, you can't drive it. You see you're not spot a new trail. So we pay for destination. It takes more time, but it will be here.
Great, it will be here. I know we'll take calls, but this final one that's talked about the impacts of the Middle East war, especially on petroleum produce. So, looking at the LPRC, what has been done to stabilize prices of these basic petroleum produce?
So sure, the Middle East is affecting the whole world, not just petroleum product. Look, most of the fertilizer we use in the world come from that region. The urea thing, some of the things I think it comes from petroleum product. It comes from that region. So if you watch CNN and Al Jazeera and all the news, farmers are complaining in other countries about fertilizer. Most of the petroleum we receive in Liberia, because most of our people here do not have the money to bring the petroleum like that. There are companies sitting out, some of the companies in Dubai and other places. So the company comes in and bring in a volume of petroleum, but they bring it under Colley's name. So they bring the product and put it in here. Colley signed an agreement with them that he will sell the product. That agreement also says, for any reason, they won't take their product from the country, they can suck it and take it anytime. And that's why they have to press that product every day. So when they break, based on the world market, they tell Colley today petroleum at $2. Tomorrow you go to $2.50. They call Colley and say bread at $2.50. Day after tomorrow it dropped to $1.80. They tell Colley. So the product is in country. It's being managed by Colley, but Colley don't own the product. But he's selling it. Now, because of that, most of the products that were already in country, because it's not for us, it's for the company sitting somewhere and they sell it to us on a daily basis based on the petroleum international rate. it affected us. As soon as the price went up, the man said, "Mama, we got to get the price up." You can't tell them no. They will bring a ship and suck it all and go. And so we keep moving up. That's what been affecting the sector. There have been this noise in the media about taxes, people playing with taxes and things, LPRC. There's a serious investigation going on. I wouldn't go deep into it, but what I would say on the surface is these are some of the things happening. So they got big inputters. Sometimes you're listening, you see one big gas station sitting here. They may inputting the product. Take for Aminata, selling to a gas station for $600 for gas for gallon. But one begin selling right near him, selling for $510 or $550. So the gas station, the guy who bringing the product, selling it $600. The man who they can selling for $550. How? It doesn't make sense because you buy it from this guy. This is what happened, and that's why we're trying to close. The president appointed me to look at it. I'm working with LRA, all of us, we're moving. The first thing we've done, we moved the 2 banks in first. Other banks will go, but we got Echo Bank and UBA going in already to collect all revenue on behalf of the government. What can happen is Jeremiah can bring the product in country. So the product I'm talking about, the product in country on Jeremiah need, right? Today, Jeremiah say he's selling the product for $3. When you look at road fund and all taxes on petroleum, every gallon is about 95 cents. The road fund, 30 cents, different taxes. So the guy gave me the petroleum for $3. I'm supposed to pay 95 cents in taxes, that's $3.95, and maybe I'm selling for 20 cents margin, so I'm selling for $4.15. But when Collie, who is a dealer too, that guy a lesson, comes to buy from me, I will sell to him for $3. He's supposed to pay his taxes to government because he's a dealer too. What happened in Collie? The petrol he took from me for $3, plus the 95 cents he's supposed to add on it that should make it $3.95, plus the profit. Collie selling the product to Clarence Jackson for $3.50. You're not following me?
Yes.
There is $3 for the product that I supply Collie. Government taxes is 95 cents. So the actual cost of the product is the product itself plus the taxes, that's $3.95. Collie got to sell to make profit. So you got to ask $1.05. But Collie is selling below the $3.95. He's selling $3.50. He lost 45 cents. They got an arrangement that Collie will take the product for 10 days before he pay the taxes. So every 10 days you sell, you pay, then you come back again to 10 days. Because Collie is selling $3.50, in 10 days, Collie can sell 1 million gallons. He paid my $3 million. The 50 cents he adding on the petroleum product to be taxes, that should be 95 cents, is going to $500K for him. You go to the person who has to collect that, the man said, "My man, he's going to pay $950,000. Say, "My man, the 950, I give you $100,000, you put it in government account. The other $200,000 ticket is for you." It is believed that what's happening. The other $200K, the man take it.
It's a whole cartel.
It's a whole cartel. It's been years. So we're trying to break it. Some of the decisions we're taking is the man who bring the product pay the taxes. So you give it to Collie, you give it to Jalao. Whatsoever you do, we put the taxes on you. So if from the day the product come in, and you brought, let me put it in gallon, metric ton, you will not understand it. And you brought 10,000 gallons, it will be 95 cents at 10,000. We mark it on you. Diamond brought 10,000 gallons, put it down. Every time you take product in 10 days, we make sure you clear. So we closing that oral gap. Like I say, I can't go deep into it. I just throwing some symptoms
Yeah,
to you.
Diamond.
Yeah, a lot of things happening that we are trying.
Okay, so I have the impression that the management has extended, with the consent of the vice president, if you get 15 more minutes,
Yeah.
we are to the town to take callers. So
Ah.
Damo just ask
Yeah,
the final.
that's a
You
great
can say 1 hour.
Yeah,
no
then we
problem.
just ask
the
callers.
VPNs will run on the VPN.
You can take 1 hour,
Say
no
1
problem.
hour, that policy right there.
No, Mr. Vice President, we can't keep you that long.
Unless you
We gotta
tired.
go.
Honorable Vice President,
Yeah.
you've spoken extensively on a lot of issues, you know, and one of the key national issues, I'll just give you my question in a whole full, you know, updates from the border, Solomba, is key. You know, we got reports that schools have reopened, and we'll be going there to, you know, follow up on that. The approach from the government has been soft power diplomacy, you know, try to make sure we can negotiate and all of that. Have you gotten any recent assessment whether there has been an improvement in talks? And my second part question is the Yeke Koluba expulsion, which is tied to the similar thing. There are accusations that you handed the money for his removal and all of those things. I know you smile, but my question is: do you think the legislature acted independently? Was the punishment proportional, and whether or not that sets a precedent as well? Thank you.
So on the Yeke stuff, what I would say is, I left the House of Representatives in 2020. If I were there, I would tell you how I voted, and why I voted, and why we took said decision. Unfortunately, I'm not there. I don't want to meddle in their issues. So the best person to talk to is the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, members. Let them deal with their issue. I'm in a different branch of government. You know the men can impeach me too. So I try to be careful with them. Let them handle their issue. Now, put up. I got update every day. Look, I hear people say, yeah, the Guinea got a huge military and this and that, blah, blah, Liberia can't make it. We got fighting forces here beside the army. I can call some name. 2-3 persons can cross in the morning and capture one whole city in some country. They are here. It happened here, we know. But how did it help us? It destroyed us more. When gunfire at our border, it will be happening way in Lofa, but we will start juking one another in Monrovia. The war will be more here among ourselves than what happening at the border. And so, soft diplomacy is the way out. Look, you are here during the Judy Bryant time, 2 persons making confusion, and they just work in the morning and say, oh, that Christian-Muslim war. Some of you remember.
Vividly. The Jacob Town area there.
Imagine gunfire at the border. And some people here just get ready and go to some of our friends who from Guinea here doing business. Well, there are Guinea people here. And our people on our side too, they start killing them. You know what you're talking about. Even in Monrovia. Look, international community to tell us to stop to the border, but the war will still be fighting here. And if you were here during the war, you don't want to hear about war. Look, it's better to wake up in the morning, eat cassava peace, than to see war. It's not a joking thing. I was a child when the war was fighting. I used to be selling Jim John brand on the front line. And I fire gun, but the CP, when the men are fighting to ERWA Junction, then maybe somewhere, no, Double Road Junction, then here at the CP, that here the army men can gather when they come from fighting, that here they can rest to get their gin, their John, their brand. I was picking, I get my cigar on my back, my King Jules gallon, they buying from me. They gun firing where they are here, but I fire gun before. And so we know what went on in this country. So, soft diplomacy is the way. And we are achieving. Look, you want
That's what I wanted to ask. Are we still engaging?
We are still engaging. And it's working.
The president is
So
still
you
here.
see,
The president is still here, Mr. Vice President.
Perfect. There we go. Look, you see Iran and the U.S., the ceasefire, but you know the politics playing out. Everybody trying to appease their people on the ground. So when Trump speak, he said, we are winning the war. Iran is on the war. They will succumb. Is to stir the base in America that we are in charge. When the people in Iran talk, they say we got no conversation with America. We're not going to go to no table. Is to stir their base, their politics. Everybody playing their part. So the man wake up in the morning, he bring all the heavy weapons to the border The people con everything. You saw the kind of truth that came to the border. Then diplomacy, my man, we're not fighting. They think you are all man. They piece of land, let's talk about it, my man. You are saying that order. How can you get Kanyaba? The president went to Guinea. He being the elder in the region, looking at where we come from, trying to build our country. We cannot go into war. So discussions are going on. The first thing, the man pulled all the people from the border. All the heavy weapons all gone back. School and teen children are running from the villages, gone back. I'm told the men can carry in the day, in the night, they go sleep in Guinea. Small. Maybe they'll go sleep one day, they will not come back. We're not going to fight. We'll deal with this thing. We're talking to ECOWAS, we're talking to AU, we're talking to people in the Security Council. Guinea are our neighbors. Look, almost all the tribes in Liberia in Guinea. If you went to Bon County, there's a huge amount of people across the border. If you went to Nima, there's a huge amount of people. These people are family. You'll be surprised that when one elder died in Liberia, the Guinean cross and come to Nima to bury them. When an elder died in Guinea, they are the same people, the white people, when they came and say, you know what? They water a boundary. So if your brother were across the river, he remain a Guinean. If you are on this side, you remain a Liberia, but that link is still there. People still know their family are across the border. And Lofa, there's a whole place called Kisidu in Guinea. Huge population. I think the people that's at the biggest Kisi settlement around here. The people in Liberia are smaller. If I'm not mistaken, I stand to be corrected. Same people, they cross the border, Sierra Leone. And so we are one people. The man talking in Conakry, he know these people are related. We can't fight one another here. Those people come for rest, they come for oil, they come for everything in Liberia. Just the border, we say we close. Every day they put passing, our people, our women, they can cross overnight. They go sell in Guinea. So we are one people. We'll keep it like this. Those who think we're supposed to fight, will not fight because some of them don't understand these things. They don't know the implications.
Mr. Vice President, as part of your soft diplomacy, what's their demand? Yeah, it is true that we're reaching out, they're dragging their legs. There must be some conversation they're having. What have they told you?
It's not only with us. Look, I told you, at this point, sometimes of politics.
Okay.
The media walk away, they're scared to go by here. You got to run away like that. All that people you're making, you going over there. Do you know that they got fled on the around the Zor era in Cote d'Ivoire? Guinea said that land there. Guinea get that land that fled in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a whole island is taking. Sierra Leone has gone to, I think, arbitration or so. They're going to court. Because we cannot fight in this region. We are one people. And so we are having discussion. I told you, it started with all the heavy weapon fire. Our people run away from school and things. Heavy weapon going back. Children going back to school. The minute I used to sleep, they're going back to sleep now. Small, we'll get there.
Okay, Mr. Vice President. Emmanuel will take to the lands, but before we do that, I'll read a text message I just got, and then probably it could trickle a response from you. Somebody sent me this. It says, how are you, my brother? I have some very serious concerns. The Burkinabes are taking over in Grand Guinea, my brother. They demand you to buy from them in the Ivorian currency. They do not hold US or Liberian currency. They are becoming more powerful than the people of Grand Guinea. They are making farms in Liberia and taking the products to the Ivory Coast for sale. There are serious intermarriage going on between they and the the people of Grand Guinea. They have purchased 45% of the land in Grand Guinea at present as I send this text. They determine which currency to sell or trade their goods in. These are things that created the problem for us in Lofa County at the moment. Then he goes on to say in Nimba, for example, all the ferry over the St. John River at the local crossing points in Nimba County and Guinea are owned by Guineans. If you are crossing from Liberia into Guinea, you pay crossing fees to the Guinean. And when you are leaving Guinea to Liberia, you again pay the same money to the Guinean, thereby putting the Guinean under the pretense that they own that side of the river or the land. This is serious. Mr. Vice President, Burkinabes in Grand Guinea.
So the last one, maybe that Lofa that won't happen. Maybe I need to check Nima whether they run because I spent years in that river. I have my own route on that river to cross people in all on St. John in Nima. So most of the route at the time was for us, unless 18 yesterday. So I will ask the superintendent.
Please.
to know. You went to Legian Buddha, you went to Zwame, you went to, there are a lot of people who doing over there crossing a thing. Sometimes we feel our own ride. The ride I call your call, we tie together. And you know, that time we used to be crossing our small thing, then Kinju and thing, then overnight. You cross it, you get it right, you had it, you come in overnight, you take it. So, I don't know about it happening in Lima. But I heard it been happening in Lofa for a very long time. Okay. That the ride, they cross the Guinean, you pay on the Guinea, on the Liberian, you pay for to cross, you know, both ways. And so I'm told, even the Liberian side, they didn't say charging you too. So when you pay to Guinea, you pay to Liberia. I don't know much detail about the Lofa side, but the Nema side, I grew out there, I play on our water, and so I know what it is there. Unless they have changed in Nema. Now, when I was representative and senator, the issue of Burkina Bay became a serious problem. And we tried to investigate. And one of the things we saw there is, look, some of our own people are causing some of the problem. And we have to hit the nail squarely. When you're a leader, you don't get afraid to speak. So Claren has a family. Claren go to Cote d'Ivoire and bring the Burkina Bay man. And say, Lord, I want you to do for me 100-acre cocoa farm. The man said, you'll pay me 10,000. I will grow your cocoa for, I just throw in numbers. I will grow your cocoa for 3 years. I will brush. In 6 months, you will feed me. But after 6 months, you will not feed me anymore for the 3 years. Because when I'm brushing, I'll plant my yam, I'll plant my cassava and thing to feed myself. But I will do the complete farm for you. And once it reach 3 years, start to harvest, you take your cocoa, I come back. But my fee is 10,000. Clarence said, no, I don't get 10,000. The man said, okay, I'll plant 100 acres, but you give me 40 until 60. Clarence said, yeah, no problem, go ahead. So the man do all the work, he put all the investment and everything. But remember, I'm not a lawyer, but under our law, I don't think when you are a foreign person, you can just buy land like that. But that one is a whole new discussion. Lawyers got to look at it. Or no Liberian got right to just give land to a foreign person like that. I know there should be laws. I don't have the details, but lawyers will speak to that. Now, when the guy grow the cocoa reach 3 years. The first harvest, the man have a 40 acre, you have your 60 acre. The man 40 acre gain 30,000 now. They say, no, my man, 10,000 will turn on fire. The guy said, no, my man, do you finish? That's what the problem we're facing there. So, the article thing I told you about that we intend to do will register everybody in the country. You foreigner, you non-Liberian, meaning our Burkina Bay friends, Ghanaians, Nigerians, and whatsoever, will register everybody. Doing the registration in the town chief will be there, other people will be there. They may not Burkina Bay, will put your name down. They may not, they will sort them up. We know the number, we know where we're living, then you start to engage them. If you want to live in Liberia, there are laws you must follow. If the men are supposed to give you land, and the men just give you land, and on our law you're not supposed to get land, it's a whole discussion. I got that small part, but it's a serious issue that we need to address as a government, and the first way to do it is not just taking these numbers that people get throwing, is to go there, count these people, and to count them is to register them, get them, no, when you leave from here to Ghana today, you get down in Ghana, and you want to open an account, you want to get a SIM card, unless you use your passport for, but they will have to give you a non-Ghanaian card. That card is about $100 or $150 US. You pay for it. With that card, you can do anything in Ghana, but it is in their system that you are a non-Ghanaian, though you are a West African brother. And those are things we try to deploy here.
Okay.
So those systems, when those system comes into play, most of these things will be addressed.
Great. Most of these things will be addressed. I know sometimes it's difficult to appear on many of these public platforms. So quickly, I know we'll take calls, and the DG has informed me that whatever time you want to be here, LBI is yours for today, just on the form side. But the issue of youth employment and empowerment, you've spoken about this so passionately. What is the government doing to address the issue of youth unemployment, which is one of the key factors in country right now?
So, I just laid to you a lot of things we are doing, and
Okay.
some of the youth employment program we're doing is good to put money in people's pockets small, but it's not sustainable. Okay, we're doing 6 more, you know, put small money. The men will clean the beach and water away, put small money in. It's not sustainable. But we'll keep doing them small. That is keeping people in the RC. You know what an RC is in the hospital? When you go to GFK, there's a place people may accident, put on critical list.
Emergency.
They on RC, the intensive care, so you got oxygen to your nose. You're not dying, but you're not living good. So some of these things are in RCU. We got to go to the structural problem. Like I said, if you take care of electricity, any young person can choose here, go to that village and raise goat. I carry two lay nanny goat and maybe 1 baby goat. And see, I'm going to the bush for 5 years. I'm going plant coffee or cocoa or rubber. But I carry my 2 lay nanny goat and 1 baby goat. In 5 years time, I can get more than 100 goats or 200 goats. And just call somebody and say, look, Demi, who is doing the bush up in the guy cold room, because he can pay for electricity, he can afford. He just bring a truck and find take 100 goats or 200 goats. With 100, 200 goats, that first cash get in my head, I get 10, 20,000 dollars. When you know what to do in Liberia, you good. In Liberia, I only need $10,000. I don't owe nobody have me 10,000. I'm good. I will come back any day. That's all I need. Okay. And so, as we will do small window dressing with most of the things happening that is not sustainable, we got to go to the foundational issue. Like electricity that roads. We're trying with roads. We're trying to connect the counties. So roads, we're trying. The whole rainy season, under this president, no car got stuck on any major highway. Unless you leave the major highway going to small road, which the yellow machine are coming to address. But the next thing is to address the electricity thing that the president is very serious about, and discussions are going on. People are doing studies, and once we get that done, the country is ready. All these things will be taken care of.
Mr. Vice President, maybe my last question, then we go to the line, and
Yeah,
this
sure.
is political. You seem to be very happy in your position as a vice president. You don't look like a car part. I mean, we see you in the news all the time. That shows a relationship and trust between your boss and you. We are looking up to 2029, and the conversation out there is that we are the everyday guys in the marketplaces, on the radio, and there is this conversation about possibly, being the hand picked by your boss, Mr. Boakai, the president, to succeed him. Sometimes when you sit with your boss, I know you can have a conversation. Can you tell us what are the whispers in your ears? What does he say? What's the latest conversation about his intention to contest for 2029 or not to contest? Where are we with that conversation?
So what I can say to you simply is, under our law, every president is elected and got the right to go for 2 terms, 12 years. If President Boakai was in 12 years, he asked me whether he's changing the constitution to go for 3rd term, then I can answer that question. As it stands, it is his right under our law to do it 2 terms. The president has my full support any day, any time, any decision he takes. That would be my answer to the first part of your question. The second part, talk about, you said what? You said
A parked car.
a parked car. Every vice president is a parked car. The laws are clear. The power of the executive is inherent in the president. They say in the president, vice president. That's why you don't deputy president. You vice president. The law also says the vice president will assist the president. Since you have been in a Fagon manager, and sometimes Fagon can be staying in the player. And today you're assisting Fagon. And I ask you to assist him.
Sure.
Eh?
Sure.
When you finish, it's there to go. Maybe the next time you call will be another 2 years. So the vice president is a parked car. The president uses that car at will. If the president says the car will go to Dwana and go pick up two gallons or real oil, the car run there and come back and get the oil packed. Until the president gets used for the car again, then it move. So once I execute, I come back to base and report and pack. The president move. So when the president hand gets filled with most of the things he's doing, he says, VP, look at this one. Assist me on this one. Assist me on the one. Even at that, it's for me to report to him and not to the public.
Okay.
And so a vice president is a packer. Any vice president who would think that you share the president with the power, you are in trouble, and there will be chaos between you people. And so going forward, as the Constitution is, every vice president in the future know that you are to assist. Assisting, the person must request it. And that's why the vice president is the only person that go to session and go to cabinet. Because the president not ready for a Senate, go sit down on the Senate and keep presiding without a vote. You don't have much say. The one that people tell you vote the team power, whether you like it or not, I mean, you got to sign. Since I went there haven't been a time for me to take a vote. So I'm back. When the president says move, I move. The distance they give me a travel, I come back, I pack and wait. But I have a very good relationship with the president. A father-son relationship. When I'm talking to the president, I don't see the president, I see my pa. And as soon as me and the president are in the forum, and he blasted at me, open it. No matter if blast at me, no problem. And I issue. We African children. The elder will remain the elder. And Jojo, the old man's son, Jojo and myself, born the same year. Both of us 10 for the 8 this year. I'm not older than Jojo in, I think, 2-3 months. So this man is my father. So we do that father-son thing. I see him on. I got on. Hinder accept to the president. The way I think, I say it. But the president know better than me. If I tell him, he tell one, that's it. That's why he's the president. He knows better. And that's why we are working very well.
Great. I mean, great conversation here. This broadcast is relayed on several stations around the country. Of course, it's time now you interact with your vice president. We've been here since 8 o'clock this morning and talking the issues that confront Liberians and the state. Too many people have started calling. We've not even announced the numbers yet.
Let's emphasize that we are relaying, and people should not call our private numbers.
Yes, yes.
People have attempted already.
Yes, sure. So we are relaying, and I mean, several stations: OKFM, Prime FM, Cool FM, Classic FM, Nikakata, Radio Magibi, Radio Dubai in Bassa, Smile FM in Zoaju, Radio Banga in Bon County, Super Bunkies Radio, Radio Kintuma, Voice of Lofa, Voice of Nimba, RBS in Riverses, a Peace FM in Lower Magibi, Radio G, Voice of Plebo, Voice of Truth, City FM, Voice of Hopeless FM. Just
so guys, we can
plenty.
Yes,
so let's hear and Bushra Radio as well. 080514096, 080514096. A very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being there.
So my name is Lamia Nuri. Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're live.
So my name is Lamia Nuri, and I come from the grass of the capital. So I listened to the vice president. The vice president spoke of so many national concerns. But the vice president is somebody who is responsible for people living with disability. And he has not mentioned anything about the disabled community. And I think this vice president, every other vice president should take cue in in disabled people issues.
Okay,
That's my
PWD.
issue.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Good morning. Okay, this person. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Manny Mo calling from
You're giving us feedback, Vanny.
I'm sorry.
No, I think I'll have
Yeah,
to
Vanny,
let you
you have
go.
to do that quickly.
Yes,
No
please
time.
go ahead. This international call from France. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Fred Gerson and I call from Paris.
Yes, sir. From Paris, please go ahead.
Good morning, Honorable Vice President. For the record, I gotta believe that you are one of the most corrupt politicians in the Republic of Liberia. Now,
No, we will not take that, please. We have to be very
Yeah,
careful
good
what we say
morning.
to national leaders. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you, sir? My name is Slade Mohammed Cohen. I call you from Bone County to be exact, District 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me appreciate my Vice President this morning. A long time I've never heard him speaking like the way he spoke this morning. I appreciate you for all what you're doing. About a series of concerns, sir.
No, let me get one, please.
The negotiation about the concession agreement. I heard from the ERVC radio that Boto Kane, who is the senator, is finding out how the concession is done in your county. That it was not done properly, sir. What can you make of that?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for being there.
Good morning. This is George Moran, joining from District 6, Imosa County. I just want to tell good morning to our Honorable Vice President, Vice President Jeremiah Kpan Koung. Thank you so much. You spoke about a lot of things. I know that you'll be this country. I don't have a question for you, but I beg you, Honorable Vice President, you're doing the proper work. Because I don't know we voted for you, at least you're doing progress. You're understand one another. The next president will vote for the country and that will be better.
Thank you.
So much. God bless you. Thank you.
Let me take call from the other line. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Diwa. I want to tell my almost Vice President, thank you. Everything he said, I was listening to it. I'm begging them, let them help the president to carry our country up.
Okay.
Because it's a level, some of us, we want the country to go anywhere.
Thank
And
you.
our country, I will tell you my country is the best. And if you say your country is the best, nobody will say it. So I want to tell the Vice President, thank you, let him help the paper. All those are working within the government. Let them help the paper.
Thank you.
Our
Thank you.
country,
Thank you,
right?
Naoma. Thank you so very much for your inputs. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Teddy Ross, and I call from Central Virginia. And let me say thanks to the ever potent Vice President, and we are proud those are all that voted for him. My attention has to do with the rubber industry, Firestone to be the city. Mr. Vice President, we pray that you look at the rubber industry. We, from the business end that do rubber business, we are really, the business atmosphere is not conducive. Firestone buy at their will, and they, even to sell the Firestone, there are a lot of constraints. More besides, out from Grand Bassa County, the pollution of the water nowadays is affecting our people in Orange Grove and other areas. The air pollution as well, Mr. Vice President. We pray that you look in that direction. Thank you ever so much for your attention.
Thank you so very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Good morning to the Vice President. I mean, this is Abu Rahul, Chairman of the Bank of Mama. I call it for a time, member of the Universal Intellectual Bureau. Yeah, Mr. Vice President, and one of the colors said he talked all the time, but when I hear anything, he on we the disabled people. Mr. Vice President, particularly on the street up to now, we can't take anything from our commission, no program, nothing happening beside maybe Minister agenda, trying to take students from the street to put them to school. Mr. Vice President, what you're always doing about we the disabled people that on the street? Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll take 2 more calls and get it done. Too many in terms of everybody. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Chief Molubi, calling you from Zulu, County. I just want to applaud the Vice President for his service. Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for your good works.
Okay. Thank you. This should be our last caller. Please, thanks for joining.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is it LBS?
Go ahead, please. You're live.
Yes, let me say thank you to the Vice President. Let me say thank you to the Vice President. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Vice President, I sat down keenly, I analyzed all what you said, but you talk about this market. In economics, we have two types of markets. We have perfect and imperfect markets. The goods that are coming in Liberia, they are all from imperfect market. They send in ugly meat and chicken and things for us to eat. That's why we're getting sick. Every day we're getting sick. Right now, the place I am, I'm sick. I'm having diabetes, I'm having fever, and all the rest of it, my children and all. So I need help from you, Mr. Vice President. Okay. My number is 0886-838-704. I need you. Just send me something so that I go to hospital. I beg you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you know.
You still there?
Are you still there?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
take
still
your
here.
time and call the
Yeah,
number.
call the number, yeah.
0886 838-704.
And your name?
Son.
Ask what his name
What's
is.
your name? Your name again?
Francis Sabayo.
Okay.
From County.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So I think Karen, we have to hold the course there. And Mr. Vice President, you listen to the people, and you can just take a few minutes to address some of the concerns raised.
So I think one of the person who called was the disabled person. I mean, I'm forget about it. Man, I asked me that question, or they can't ask me about to talk about it. But my office is responsible for a group of 77. As much as we are responsible for everybody in the country, group of 77 is a bit different from the National Commission on Disability. If I'm not mistaken, because my wife runs it. She's the executive director by law. The vice president's wife takes over. If the vice president is a woman, your husband take over. Both vice president, whether male or woman, if you don't have a spouse, then you appoint somebody to take over. So my wife runs it as we speak. My wife is doing for the group of 77 people a new home. Because when you go to South Beach, right opposite South Beach, the whole community you see the scene around there, that people living with disability. My wife is even training. Right now there's a program going on called Empower Hall, training people living with disability, especially women, how to, they're teaching them, and she's trying to find a package now to get each of them. So when they graduate, whether that's sewing machine, she give you small money. There are different discussions going on. She had a meeting the last time with Petrol Trade, that all your gas stations, can you please allow people living with disability to get cooler and maybe sit at the place there to get water, salt drink and thing. And you'll be shocked. I mean, she called them, and most of them told her, I'm going where I want. Won't go as every day, but who can get. It's more than to
be stationed.
To be stationed one place and be saying cold water. And so we got problem with social welfare, people living with disability. Disability is not just somebody may accident your hand, call your phone call. There are people living with epilepsy. There are people living with different sickness. The last time I was being briefed by this entity under my office, they call it the Sun Secretariat. It's killing our nutrition. It's on almost all the vice president office around here because they try to give it a political face. I'm told there are 12% of the children in the country that are stunted. Meaning, there's nothing you can do with it again. So when the mom gets pregnant, she's supposed to be eating, food that give the child good health in her stomach. So maybe she just eat rice with red oil, eat cassava peas with red oil, and that child start to get small in her stomach. When that child born, they say, the woman born, the baby is small. That child is stunted because the child don't have the right mineral and the right vitamin. Between there to 2 years, you can redeem that child. If you can get food to the children, that's why I said it down, the UNFPA was divine, something like peanut butter and thing they can give the children. It cut off now. Between that time the child was born to 2 years, If you don't revive that child, because the brain's supposed to grow and everything's small. If you don't revive that child, right after 2 years, that child can never recover. I'm told there are 12% of the children in this country. They briefed me the last time. I told them this briefing needs to be given to the legislature. So I have a conversation with the pro tem and the speaker so that they come in session and explain to them so we know this issue. And then instead of waiting for UNFPA, we can find some money, put in the budget, get some of the Liberian people who packaging. We're doing some Google packaging in Liberia now. If you put small money in the budget, $1, $2, $3 million, and people facing peanut butter, they buy the peanut, the ground, they put some two benecin and all these things that get these children some of the mineral, we can save our children. And most instead of importing it, paying shipping costs and everything, people will start to grow peanuts and benecin and things because there will be a demand for the market. So that conversation, I was briefed just 3 days ago. We are having a major stakeholder on the international partners and whatsoever. I told them to hold up because I wanted them to brief both plenary of the legislature, the Senate and the House, so that people see pictures coming from their county, children from their county that are stunted, that can never be recovered. So, my man, the people ask me like, oh, but you know you're my man, and anytime bother you, we can talk. But we need to find a program that takes care of you, and that all of you we're talking about, whether the people who correct, the people who get problems, that everybody been able to talk here.
What's still not disabled? What's the status of the facility that was launched sometimes last year in Broadview, Baker to be exact?
Oh, so this year, I think there is $600,000 in the budget to start the project. They haven't processed that money yet.
Okay.
When it gets processed, the construction work will start. She's building homes. When the homes gets through, we intend to take the people for around Sub Beach. On the beach there, sometimes we go there and change all the zinc because the zinc leaking on them. We change. The group of 77 people are positioned. If I'm not mistaken, group of 77 either are people born with disability or so. I will check it out. But there's group of 77 and the National Commission on Disability that somebody is appointed to that deal with disability issue. The only group under my office is the group of 77 that my office, there's a chapter under my office that takes care of it. So if you see my budget, it's into 2 phases. You got a group of 77 office under my budget, and you got my own office. So when they see it, they say, oh, if I pay the budget, be that 2 different entities budget under there. Right now, we got the scaling of nutrition to either under us 2 or so. And so there are some smaller entities under us, yes.
Great. Mr. Vice President, just before we leave you this morning, I want to ask you about this issue of land and the demolition all over the country. How concerning are you?
So the president is not happy about that. The president has expressed concern. And most of these things are happening from judges in the court. I don't know whether it's true that some judges are playing games, taking money from people. If that is true, then the legislature needs to start to impeach the judges. Land could be a serious point of conflict in this country. And we have to look at the laws. Look, somebody say they own Kiale community, assuming. People been living over there for 50 years. You say you own the land, you haven't been paying taxes on it, nothing, zero. You just come one day and bring one big paper and say that you get a whole community and thousands of people should live. And the court rule, when the court rule, if you don't follow the court order again, they say, oh, the government not respect the rule of law and this and that. And so we need to look at the land law. The legislature, I'm sure, I heard some senator talking about it. They got to look at it and see what we do about it. To the extent I would say, if you got a land and you're not paying taxes on it, I said it point, government said it. You got a land, you got to clean it. We got to take some decision to avoid most of these things happening. The president is very concerned about it. There are discussions going on, and there will be some actions taken.
Okay, Mr. Vice President, we got to go. We just wanted to get your parting comments. We've been here beyond 2 solid hours and a half. What's the final message to the country?
So I want to thank the president first for allowing me to sit in this space today. You know, before I go to the radio, I got to get clearance. Unless, yes, I can't just have this kind of discussion unless I get clearance from the president. I mean, if I'm working in a program or so, I'm speaking somewhere, and maybe somebody I can talk one or two things, but to have a sit-in like this, I must clear with the president. And so I cleared with the president. I was going to talk about some of the action we intend to take in the market. Look, most of our business people, one of my friends called me the last time and said, my man, no business, I'm closing the store. Find me anywhere, even $500. There is somebody that runs his own business and want to close it. Only because he come to buy from people here. The same people who own the factory, they put the goods in the truck and follow them in the market and pack the truck right by them and sell it. So how will the man sell? And so these are all the things we intend to stop. When you put a chain where the people who are producing got distributor, the distributor got people who they supply, it will create a lot of jobs. People in the diaspora who want to come home thinking on what to do. Because are these things open? Some of the argument will be, but who the Liberian get the money to put for the guarantee? Those of you in country, you start shopping yourself. And you all are Liberia, whether you in anywhere in the world, you are a Liberian. Start getting prepared so that when we create the condition, come in and take on it. So that we don't create it, then there's no way to move. Then the people say, but we told your people not able to think. Look, even your 2, 3, some of the problem guys in the country, we don't partner. Each are on the table, maybe got $1 million each. We know that when you build a hotel here, maybe 200 rooms, in 5 years, we will get our money back. With tourism working and other things working, people will come in. The building cost $10 million. We have 10, each of us got $1 million. Not all can do it, but all can do it. But we're not willing to work together. So most of our foreign friends will come together and do it. Then they own it. In 5, 6 years down the line, everybody get our money on it. The building stand there and a profit. We need to start working together. If we want to get something done, and you get 10%, each of us got 10%, when we pull it together and do the right documentation, they want another to say, my man, we are working together. No. We get lawyers, they carve the right documentation, we can gradually take over this economy and do well as we compete with our foreign friends. We're not against them, we're not going after them, but we're going by the law. This law was passed in 2010. I was not in the legislature back then, but we are here and we enforce it. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all the time we've got to be here today on the Super Morning Show. Many thanks to all of you.
I will call that person. Who call? You know, he was a lucky caller. I was scared. It was 24 calls. Why? Okay, get out one person. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
So folks, thanks for being there, thanks for following. I've been coming to you live from the main studio of ELBC, where the Vice President has spoken on the national issue. And thanks for being there, thanks for following. To which one we again, this is my Cutting Positive Banner. The Vice President Jeremiah Kpan, exclusive interview here at ELBC, speaking on a wide range of national issues. But thanks for following, thanks for being there. Goodbye for now.